you are going in with the expectation you're going to lose money here.
I think that's the general foundation of every investment I ever make. And if you don't have that understanding, don't invest.
And then you're like burning money.
But you're generating money though.
So I'm having a great time losing money, okay? I'll say it. You're probably wondering, what is this video? This is me and my friend Milo and our guest Brandon talking about crypto, NFTs, gaming, entrepreneurship. Leave a comment down below letting me know your thoughts about it, and use the time codes in the description if you want to skip to any section in particular. Enjoy.
Hey everyone, this is Brandon, also known as Mystic 7.
Yes.
You're going to tell us why the 7's there in a second.
Okay.
That's Matt, now Kabuzio, once upon a time Sports Hawk.
What's going on, guys? My name is Matt. I'm Sports Hawk.
Matt Sports Hawk, yeah.
It's a life that you've left behind in the dust.
I even put in my Instagram bio, formerly MC Sports Hawk.
Nice.
I've made sure that the notion is like, it's moving on.
If you kill an old persona, like, is that how you do it? Do you have a grave set up somewhere for MC Sports Hawk?
People posted memes, you know, the meme of like the guy drowning, like the little kid drowning, and then there's one beneath it where it's like a skeleton.
Do you know what he's talking about? Do you have anything idea what he's talking about?
If you know, you know. If you don't know, then I sound like an idiot.
Bro,
right
you know
now.
that meme? Do you know that meme of the corpse when it's like dead on the floor?
We have moved on.
We have moved on, and honestly, it's the best thing that's ever happened to you.
It's a new channel. Oh, you think killing my channel was the best thing that ever happened to you?
Yes, because it's
I think
allowed
it's the best thing for me.
Yes, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Sorry, yeah.
It's channel, objectively, it's the worst thing that ever happened to it. It is physically dead now.
But like, what is the channel for if not to serve you on your mission in life? Right?
It's to serve everyone else who gets benefit out of it.
That's fair. Though it's about you here. And you have been looking for a thing to sink your teeth into. Every year is a new thing. Teeth go in straight away. You're like, not for me. Doesn't work out. Doesn't quite hit the nail on the head of what your thing is. But I feel like you're in a really good place right now.
I like building things from nothing, and a lot of times that doesn't necessarily mean it's like the thing I like the most.
Yes.
Like the most passionate about.
You just like the process of starting it and
I like building
being
something from
scrappy.
Nothing. And that's usually like a business endeavor, like a startup.
Were you ever into
that
Legos?
becomes something. What? Into what? Legos? Not necessarily, no. I don't like the physical building. I like the intellectual building. Okay. Like the structural building.
He likes building his future.
And yours too. 1-800 Matt Kabuzio. Could change your life today.
Not financial advice. This is not financial advice.
NFA.
DOIOR, NMGMI.
NGMI. We're going to make it, right?
I think you're in a really good place with the Matt Kabuzio channel. You've also now got this group. This is interesting. This is a podcast on your channel. We're like interviewing you right now. That's not really how this is meant to work.
Yeah.
Oh, this is on his channel?
I mean, like, do you know who this guy is? So you've been building your business. We've been memeing about him farting into my mic for the last few minutes.
Right.
What do you do?
I farted into mics, man. That's
Yeah, fair enough.
Do you hear about the girl on Twitter who sold farts in a jar?
I did.
You know, she was. I just was not as popular.
There were NFT versions, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I tokenized the farts.
No, she did. I'm pretty confident she started selling NFTs.
Are you serious?
She did.
Yeah. No, they were. Yeah. People were flipping her farts.
Nice.
Damn.
Nice, man.
That's
at Inverse Pro.
That's crazy. But like, would you ever? I mean, you're an entrepreneur. You've done a lot of different things.
Farts, yeah.
You'd flip your farts. I'm pretty sure you would.
Why not?
So what do you do?
Yeah, so I do Pokemon content.
Well, you don't only though. Big yourself up, homeboy. You got more going on right now.
Well, man, I don't know, dude. Okay, listen, I'm Pokemon content creator. Okay,
yeah.
So I make Pokemon YouTube videos and Twitch. A lot of traveling, a lot of catching them all. Very, very fun.
Lots of Pokemon Go is where that like really blew up, right?
Pokemon. So my channel started on like mobile gaming on like Clash of Clans.
Okay.
Is where like that began, and then Pokemon Go came out, blew up. I transitioned over to that.
Yep.
And then I've just been doing that nonstop, literally catching them all. Professional trainer.
Yes.
I have them all.
So you've been catching all the Pokemon for the last, I'm guessing it's been probably
almost 6 years. Actually, 5.5 years.
Okay, 5.5. Yeah. Cool. Gotcha.
Have you caught them all?
You know, no, actually, I've not.
Well, he sucks at his job. That's crazy.
I suck at my job. There's one in France that I don't have quite.
Honestly, get out of here. Like, why are you here? Damn it. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah. So you've been catching them all.
Yes.
Very good stuff. Yes. And then you realized that you wanted to catch all the NFTs. Is that right?
I went full degen. I went down the rabbit hole. Definitely.
When did that happen?
That was in August of last year. And I'm still not rich. So this whole NFTs are get rich quick concept.
Yeah.
I'm either a idiot or that is completely a lie.
Listen, you've been trying to catch them all for 6 years and you haven't caught them all. I think it might be the former.
User error?
Yeah. Like, I think there's a little bit of a...
Sounds like it's you, bro.
Yeah, just maybe.
No, dude, but so what happened is that obviously the Pokemon card craze happened in 2020, right? Like it was like busting packs and stuff. So I hadn't opened a Pokemon card pack in my life until 2020. Swear to God.
Whoa,
My first
okay.
pack I ever opened was Champion's Path. And
on video, I'm
on
assuming.
stream, yeah, on stream.
Amazing.
No, it was awesome.
Yeah.
No, it was super fun. But like I started opening up packs, and it was funny because I was opening up like these like $6 Champions of Champions Path packs. Like they were vintage. Like I was like fumbling them. I was like, I didn't want to fuck them up. Like,
Yeah.
it was really fun. So I got really big into that, but I just got like addicted to it. Like I love buying vintage packs. I bought vintage boxes. I like the idea of the chase, you know what I'm saying? And then I like the idea of having like a rare collectible, right? Like,
Right.
I have some really sick, like I have like a first edition PSA 10 Neo Destiny Shining Charizard. Like it's like so fucking cool. You know?
A relic.
Right. But I like that. I'm like a little crow, you know. I like collecting things. I like filling my nest with cool
And
little
also,
like, shiny shit.
it sounds like what you've done really efficiently here, and I respect the hell out of this, is
Waste all my money on things that might not have value.
no,
in 10 years.
more so you've been buying these Pokemon cards, right? And they're just little cardboard pieces of card,
Literally.
right? So like trees have been cut down to like create those cards, and like that's crazy. You're like killing trees at a very slow rate.
Right.
You've been like, how can I make this more efficient?
Yeah, we found ways to speed up the decline of the environment. And
It's
I can't
time to
say
mint.
I've been more proud of myself.
Yeah.
But I drive a Tesla, so I make up for it in that way.
So you have started buying NFTs
Very degen, yes. Extremely.
and recognize the fact that they are killing the environment.
Yes.
Okay.
And I can't stop looking at this cat.
Yes, there's a cat in the room right
I
now
can't
hanging
stop
out.
it. God damn it. Yes, so we are slowly and pretty officially at this point now that mainstream adoption is kind of coming on. We are not mainstream. We had a conversation days ago. We are not mainstream.
We'll give you context, don't worry.
We're almost there, but the closer to mainstream we get, the closer to the entire world burning down to a small crisp we get.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
like
that's just the most exciting part of this whole thing.
if you mint too many NFTs in an evening, then
Right.
like your whole
Small-
street
small
burns in
country.
flames, and yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, the other
You
side
might
of the
shut
world
down the whole
actually-
blockchain too.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You might
got to
do
be
that.
careful about that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
But so what I'm curious about, on a somewhat serious note, which is going to be hard to reach
I can-
amongst all of this.
I can bullshit for hours, but I can.
Oh,
bullshit
same
for
here.
hours. Okay.
What is your thought process in terms of rationalizing the fact that there is so much fear about what it is doing to the environment, with the fact that like this is your job? Do you think that your job is, it's just like, well, it's kind of immoral to just be killing the planet, but at the same time I gotta eat? Or like, do you like where do you land on that?
Do you want a serious
I-
question, a thoughtful one, or like a meme?
You can meme, but it's going on the internet, so they'll rip you a new asshole if you're like memeing in the wrong way, if they don't like you. What's the
environment, man. No, dude. Okay, so like
that's getting clipped,
it's
and I'm next to you. Damn it!
canceled. No,
I love the environment.
so NFTs and crypto isn't like my full main time thing, right? So like I'm not like I was gonna
You're like,
suck your
you're-
thumb so hard. You're lucky you put that down.
Wait,
Yeah, so
hold on.
it's not my full time thing. You know what I'm saying? So like
Okay.
I do content creation, right? But like even that's very energy intensive. I mean, look all the damn lights we have and cameras and equipment that we have in here. It's AC to shit, by the way. Your place is very cold. Like everything that we do, right, requires electricity and energy, and it's not good for the environment. So like the one thing that I don't really understand about crypto is this, and NFT specifically. I understand like obviously it's not good for the environment, right? But there is, if every single new technology we ever made, we were like, oh shit, is this good for the environment? No. All right, throw the entire tech out.
Yeah.
Like we'd still be playing with sticks. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing, like human progress.
You want me to play with
isn't-
yours?
What?
Go ahead. Keep talking.
Human progress isn't measured in environmental progress. That's just not how things have worked over like the millennium. The nice thing that I will say though is that as a technology progresses, right, you're able to like iron out the core issues. You're able to iron out like the core functionality of the technology, and then you can start working on like more like niche issues of the tech, of like, you know, scalability of environmental output and stuff like that. Like, dude, like fucking the beginning of transportation was
Right.
like straight coal burning, bro.
Yes.
But that changed the world, and it elongated lifespans, and like it created better supply chains. Like it made the world a much better place. But yes, it polluted the world really bad, right? But over time, that was also fixed. The cool thing I like about NFTs and crypto is the rate of progress that we're seeing in the NFT space, from bad for the environment entirely to better and better and better, like month by month, is crazy. And not only is that cool to watch, but people are actually interested in making this better, you know?
Okay, so
You can't say that about every other industry in the world.
you saying the like seeing it having progressed, I'm very curious about, because yes, once we get to like ETH switching to proof of stake and like those sorts of like milestone things, let's hope we actually get there.
Fingers crossed.
Those will make, in theory, a dramatic difference to the like the environmental footprint of this entire ecosystem that we're all sort of a part of, right?
Right.
But other than that, I'm not sure what progress you've necessarily seen in the last year of like things getting better.
I mean,
environment-wise.
it's a lot of sidechain stuff. You know what I'm saying? In L2s, like you look at Ronin, like Axie Infinity launched the Ronin network, and the Ronin network's carbon output is like negligible, right? And they're the number one NFT marketplace in the world. Like the amount of transactions that go down the Ronin network for Axie Infinity.
What are you defining more in terms of number of transactions?
24-hour volume of Ethereum, number of transactions. like out of NFTs, like Axie Infinity is like number one for transaction wise. And they created the Ronin network, and the Ronin network has significantly less, like negligible amounts of carbon output.
It's also got negligible amounts of ETH on it right now after
that's true.
last week.
Jesus
So.
I was waiting to slide in with that one. Yeah.
Maybe that's why the environmental.
It's just enough volume for someone to pull 600 million out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole nother. That's a problem in itself, you know. Oh my god. Yeah, but
So
like,
that's fair. I guess if there's more activity happening on chains,
then you've got Immutable, right? Immutable X is a completely zero carbon, like zero. It's just a normal website, right? It's like an L2 normal website. Obviously, Immutable is not like the best platform. Like these things are brand new pieces of technology looking to create a band-aid to an issue that's also brand new. Like it's not going to be perfect. You know what I'm saying?
So do you
Polygon
think
as well, AVAX as well, Tezos? Nobody fucking uses that.
Well, Tezos for like one of ones and stuff like that. There is a fair bit of activity on there, right? It's just not the like PFP craze stuff. That's just happening mainly on ETH.
Well, it's where it's at, right?
Yeah. And so, I mean, because I'm with you that I'm very excited to see where the tech goes, but I do feel like there's, as far as I'm concerned, like an information gap right now where there is definitely huge environmental impact due to the usage of the ETH network. That is there, right? And then you have people saying, once we get to the merge and once we switch to proof of stake, that is going to be reduced, like 99% of that footprint is going to go away. And they'll say that, but actually finding, and I've tried to do this a few times, and I'm sure someone can link me, but actually finding like people that are building out that upcoming infrastructure, talking about and writing about and outlining exactly how much it's going to reduce and like 99% of a massive problem could still be a massive problem. Like it might still be really bad, especially if ETH then picks up and ends up being like globally adopted. We are going to get to a situation where like, yeah, you shrink it to 1% of its current size right now, but then that environmental impact could still grow significantly. I don't know.
I think the question is how little of an environmental impact before something becomes socially acceptable.
Yeah, it's an interesting question.
Every other aspect of human existence, every other aspect has a significantly larger carbon output than even Bitcoin does.
But that's not when like is it just validating the Bitcoin network uses more energy than like a small country? Then it's no longer like a small amount of like compared to people's Christmas lights every year, or compared to you running your dryer when you wash your clothes. Like you can compare it to random aspects of human life, which are like net positives to our way of being, right?
I guess
transport,
that is right.
Those sorts of things. But the scale of it. And this is from someone that participates in crypto and is a crypto enjoyer, is the size of the impact, the scale of it is outsized compared to what currently is happening on these chains. Like, or at least as far as I'm concerned, there is a huge amount of energy usage happening.
Definitely.
But I'm thinking the big picture here, because I agree with Brandon. It's like when you compare it to literally anything else, it's so small that I'm failing to understand like what the argument really is here.
It's
not so small. That
compared to anything else, that's like not like Christmas lights was a good example.
Yeah, it's
completely like how is that more net positive than Bitcoin? Tell me.
But it's also much smaller than the impact. If Bitcoin is a new country on Earth, right, in terms of its usage,
U.S. Christmas lights use more energy than some small countries. which is insane to think, but it's true.
Yeah.
So I actually looked this. I did look this
small
up
country
recently.
thing is tough because it's misleading because like
That's fair.
You can find the smallest country ever and be like,
It's got like 10 people in it.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Hey
yeah.
man, starting
Yeah.
your car in the morning, there's more energy. It's like, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's very misleading. 'cause
You brought
think
up a bunch of points.
countries
Like,
are big
there's
thing.
so many things that we use that we don't need to use necessarily that use way more energy and provide, in my opinion, at least way less value.
Yeah.
Or
the thing-
potential value.
But I don't understand the energy shaming. You know?
Well, so okay. Let me
the argument of like if it
people-
does use like Bitcoin's never going to not be proof of work, right? So let's go with that example.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's if it keeps scaling, which I imagine that it will. I think we all probably to some degree think that it will. It's going to use more energy.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, that has to incentivize getting cheaper and cleaner energy,
Well, isn't that already happening?
which is not, in theory, should be a good thing, right? I mean, it's the same thing like Tesla. Like they're trying to find cleaner energy, trying to find ways
I think
to not pollute the earth.
This is one of the points of FUD with it, right? Is that you've got all of this energy that's being poured into Bitcoin, let's say. Let's not go to ETH or anything. It's being poured into that. And that gives you essentially an economic security budget, right? And that is an incredibly powerful thing to have this very difficult to attack like consensus network, right? But I think the problem a lot of people have is that network with all this massive cost, they're like, why is that so important right now? And granted, we see use cases for it here and there. Like for example, donating to Ukraine right now, there's been a lot of crypto donations that have been happening, and that's really cool to see. But and especially in the face of like Canadian banks freezing people's accounts with the trucker protests that were happening recently, like those sorts of things.
Being 8%.
Sorry,
inflation being 8% in the US.
I mean, you see a lot of different areas where a non-nationally controlled like monetary network of some description sounds like it would be a really, really useful thing. But when the cost is that great, I think a lot of people are like, is this an insane budget for this very sort of
What do you mean?
niche
What do you
thing?
mean? When
Like,
the cost is that insane?
the
cost of the energy
environmental
usage?
impact? Yes.
I feel like the fact that here's
can
another
you-
example,
how can
right?
you
Like
know?
I hired someone from Indonesia to do a smart contract.
You hired someone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to pay that person through a traditional bank system would have been an absolute nightmare.
Yes. Fair.
I paid it with ETH in 30 seconds.
Mhm.
Done. Good to go. We're all straight. Like to me, that is very clear value.
Sure.
That is game changing value.
Right.
For international transactions or any use case you could come up with. Like those, there are endless amounts of them. To me, I think there's some merit there that's like, yeah, the small amount of environmental impact, at least right now, is worth exploring to see if we can make it better. And it does have value. Like I think the trade-off is somewhat worth it compared to other things.
But I think the question that people would ask is why in that payment to that person in Indonesia, right? Why does that need to be on a blockchain? Why is the blockchain there the thing that is like making that like it's surely something that is achievable through other means. It just happens to be that your bank sucks, which is the case.
It's not my bank that sucks.
No,
it's
yeah,
the system
I
in
get it.
general that
Whole
sucks.
I agree.
Like, it's impossible to navigate.
But does the thing that I think a lot of people stumble on is they think they say, yes, it sucks if I want to send a significant amount of money, like 5-6 figures or something with my bank. I try and send the money. I have to be in calls with them for 3 hours that day. They call me in. They need all my ID. They need proof of where I live. They need all these things. And then they might still say no. And like, that's messed up. I agree. But I think that a lot of people stumble on the fact that they think there surely is a solution to that also doesn't need to be on a blockchain.
Like
why
what?
hasn't it been made yet?
Like what's the solution?
Why is it not a solution?
I don't know.
It's like
Yeah.
it's basic.
If you have the solution in front of you, why? What is all this like? What is all this like? Oh, I know that this is a solution, but no, this isn't the solution. It's like, what do you know? Then what's the solution?
Okay, so an example, right? That I could see someone saying. They could say there's companies out there, like let's say like Wise is one that I've used. I know that we've used that because I've paid you with it.
I've used Wise a
before.
lot.
Yeah. So like with something like that, that is so for context, Wise is basically a platform where I, with a UK bank account, can say, I want to send money to a US bank account. I'll put in their info for Wise.
Okay.
I'll send money to Wise, and then Wise will do the currency conversion, and they'll send the money onto the person, right? So there's sort of a third party in that transaction.
I mean, that sounds nice, but like, it's still crypto sounds more attractive than that because it's just A to B. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
It's so much.
I think that's fair, but Wise is one of these companies, and like I think there's been some Wise FUD recently. I don't know the details, but like it's still a service that I've used a fair bit, and it's one of those things where like there's a load of issues with the traditional banking system, but there are like fintech companies that are startups that are sort of emerging the last couple of years that are trying to fix problems in that space.
Right.
And they're not using the blockchain necessarily, and they are making meaningful impacts and solving problems. And so maybe there's something there where they can start to get their A to B thing figured out, and it's like, it's not going to be at the cost of the planet. I don't know.
Yeah, but like what's, I mean, like you're so, okay, if I send a Bitcoin transaction between me and him, right, there's a clear environmental impact for that. But like if I use a bank account,
well, it's almost not even sending. Like I feel like it's actually a bit of a misnomer to say that just sending the transaction has.
It's more like mining
because I mean it's the chain is like the blocks are getting processed no matter what. Right. So like it almost doesn't matter if you're actually using it. It's just there. So like yeah, but like the traditional banking system, like that has obviously it's much larger than the Bitcoin, so it's kind of a silly comparison. But like much larger carbon footprint and much larger energy uses than the Bitcoin network does. Like the financial system that we all use and participate in today. If you say much larger, it's actually surprising when you look at them compared. Like yes, but I don't think it's on the scale that you would think that it would be if you
were to scale Bitcoin usership.
Yes, exactly. I think that when you make that comparison, the blockchain side of things is very outsized in its impact. It's like much bigger.
I'm curious what that would look like though.
If you actually like,
if they were equal users, what the difference between the carbon footprint would be?
I'm sure.
It's disgusting with blockchain.
I'm sure it'd be
like
massive.
100%.
Right now, it is.
Yeah.
What will it be when it gets to that point?
Right. And that's the thing. That's why, like, I multiple times.
Which is why I'm like, why is this an argument in the first? Like, it's hard to know until we really know.
A big, I'll shift a little bit here. A big thing that I dislike about like this whole conversation of NFTs in gaming. Maybe we'll flip the script.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people like Asmongold Gold and like a lot of people like big names who came out. Yeah, right. No, great guy, very iconic. But like a lot of people, big names, very big people, like, even, I guess I'll stop name dropping, but like big people in gaming, very successful people who came out and who've said like NFTs in gaming are a dumb idea.
Optic Hitch.
Optic Hitch is a fucking no. I love him. Dude, he's got his eyes, man. I could lose myself in those. You ever seen his eyes?
Maybe I thought we had something special.
Yeah, well, you don't have his eyes, so man, I don't tell you. Get better eyes. No, but like a lot of people in gaming come out and they're like, yo, NFTs in gaming are stupid. It doesn't make sense. It's a shitty idea. It's like, how do you know, dude? Like it hasn't been tried, man. Like there's no use cases. What are you, a fortune teller? You've been in the future. You've seen this doesn't work. Like how are you just predicting this shit doesn't, like how the I guess arrogance of people to assume that they can predict the future of technology, right? Whereas 100 years ago, we could not predict.
But you're also making a prediction.
The jobs.
You're making a prediction that it's going to be good. They're making a prediction it's going to be bad.
I'm not making a prediction it's going to be good.
Okay.
My approach to it is that we don't know.
You want to fuck around and find
potential.
out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like why not? Why not explore that? Because it's already being used. It's already working, right? Like there's already use cases, and this is new technology. Like this shit's been around in gaming for like a year and a half, and there's already good working use cases. Imagine 10 years from now.
Let's be careful using the word good. Is crypto gaming in a good place right now?
Well, what do you mean by good?
Exactly. That's what I'm asking you.
Okay. So if you're going to compare it to traditional gaming, no. I mean, good as in like a brand new out of the gate technology, right, has been applied to a gamified sector and it's worked. Like Axie Infinity works. As much as you don't like the game, as much as the economy's gone up and down, it works. And it worked. And it worked well. It actually worked. Using NFTs, tokenizing worked. Like it was a proof of concept.
Okay.
Now it didn't. I would argue that it didn't really scale that well, and I would argue that it didn't really work out long term that well. Like there's a lot of downfalls with it. It's the first iteration,
and that's also
when has the first iteration of something been perfect?
I think it's also fair to say that about basically any game,
anything, any fucking technology. Man.
How
many planes crashed before the fucking Wright brothers got it right? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. I don't know. Is that historically accurate? It might not. No. Who knows?
It's got to be.
Right. Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like I just think that like I don't. Sure, yes, I'm a fucking NFT gaming maxi, whatever. But like I also don't like subscribe to the like, oh, this is the future, this is it, this is gonna work, it's 100%. I think that there's merit to it. I think there's possibility to it, and I think that anything that could be, why not try to? See
you want to run the experiment?
Yes,
you want to run the. Okay, so that's
because we've never gone anywhere as species without running the experiment.
That's very fair. I think what the argument is that when you have a vast majority, I think, of game devs right now looking at NFTs. Wow.
NFTs.
Damn.
baby.
If that's not already a project, that is now.
NFTs.
They're looking at NFTs and they're saying like, it's the arguments people are making and the calls people are making for how these should be implemented in games are nonsense. Like they actually don't make any sense. Like the whole, I want my Fortnite skin in Rocket League.
No, I don't like interoperability.
But
that's like a
just
very
real-
maxi.
I agree. But real quick though, like that argument has been shouted from the rooftops by all sorts of people. I mean, you've got like forget his name right now, Mike Shinoda, I think, Linkin Park guy, did this big thread and he was like, yeah, I'm super into NFTs. And like, just think about how you can do the whole interoperability thing, right? And it's like, this is as recent as maybe 3 months ago. Like, this is not,
Of course.
like, this is not 9 months ago. This is not a year ago when like people were like, oh, NFTs are like so new. I don't even know what the like acronym stands for. And he was making this thread and he's someone that really should have people around him being like, that's not how that works, bro. And yet he was making the argument. And so all the game devs out there see that and they're like, oh, this dude that really clearly is embedded in the space, has his own project, owns a load of NFTs, etc.
Right.
He still thinks this is possible. That, as far as I'm concerned, means that the normie NFT enjoyer really thinks the same thing too. And that argument is bogus.
I agree.
It
Do you
doesn't
wanna-
make
I don't like
sense.
it.
Explain like so people that don't understand
Fair.
exactly what you're talking about.
Interoperability.
Yeah, like what that exactly means and why it's not possible in your opinion, at least.
That's fair. So the argument is that a lot of people say they would love a system where, for example, you go into the Fortnite like shop, whatever it's called, and you spend some V-Bucks on a weapon skin or a character skin, right, in Fortnite, and then you have your MetaMask connected to Fortnite in some capacity, and you then clearly can provably show that you own that skin in the game. But not only can you do that, you can then also connect your MetaMask to some other service, such as, let's say, a new Harry Potter game that comes out, right?
Imagine.
And that equivalent thing, that asset of some description, whether it's a skin or whether it's a gun or whatever, is then in the Harry Potter game in some way as well. Or the argument could be that it's not the exact same thing, so you don't get like your shotgun from Fortnite in Harry Potter, because that wouldn't really make a lot of sense. But maybe the Harry Potter devs create something that is the equivalent of the shotgun
Like
in
a
the game.
wand with your
like
same
a
skin.
wand, yeah, exactly, like a wrapped wand, let's say. And then that means that you have some form of interoperability between the two separate things. And then people will go on to say, like, that's kind of a realized vision of the metaverse in some description, because your assets are no longer just like a database entry in like someone else's server, and like you don't actually own any of the things that you're buying and you just got licenses to them and stuff like that. But instead, this is something that you can resell and you can use in all these multiple different games and have more ownership over. So that's the interoperability
So the
side.
issue there,
Technologically,
like-
it's realistic, right? Like technologically with blockchain, that's realistic, but I don't think.
Well,
that
no.
works.
With
See, yeah.
blockchain, it's realistic to have an item like a token on chain.
Sorry, conceptually, not technologically.
Yes.
Conceptually.
Conceptually, it's totally valid to have a token on chain that has uses in multiple areas, and you just connect your wallet, and in one area it does one thing, and in another area it does another. That's totally conceptually fine. There's no reason why that couldn't work, and it will happen, and it will be cool. There will be plenty of stuff where that is a really cool thing. I'm confident that I'm at some point, and you're going to be able to do this as well, and you're not, because you're not going to be able to make it. You're going to be able to log into something with your MetaMask and use your cryptode in one game, and then you're going to be able to log out of that game and log your MetaMask in somewhere else and use your cryptode somewhere else. Like, I'm confident that will happen. I think that is like almost definite, right? But where game devs will draw the line, and I'm glad that you
This
got
is
me
why I
to
wanted you to make
mention
this
this.
distinction,
Yeah.
because it's the way now you're describing it out, right? Like it's a very, very minor difference.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
From like a coding standpoint and
Right.
like a legitimacy standpoint,
Where-
it's way different. But
Yeah.
the way you're describing it, to most people, myself included, it doesn't sound very different.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's very important. That's why I wanted you to explain it.
So from where game devs will draw the line is if they create an asset in their game, right? Let's say actually, I'll use that example in a second. Let's say they make an asset in their game. They make their Fortnite shotgun, right? Creating that asset, like that asset is built to work in their engine. And there's a good chance it's not just built to work and nice and clean, it's quite possibly hacked together. There's stuff in the way that they've designed it that is like, well, it's kind of a miracle that this is actually functional in our own game, but we're putting it out anyway because that's how game dev works. Everything's held together by bits of string and sticky tape. It's a mess, genuinely. You ask any dev, they will confidently say that. And the idea of taking an asset from one engine built in one way, that's one file type and all these things, and then that just working in another game genuinely makes devs, like, they will laugh in your face.
Yeah.
They just will. And it goes so far, like the extent to this of, you see games all the time, I'm sure, that are remastered, right? You'll see games where, like, let's say a map came out in a game in an old Call of Duty, and then they bring it back a few years later, right? We think, from the player perspective, it's a copy and paste job because it looks like a copy and paste job. The engine hasn't changed that much over the years. COD still feels like COD, still plays like COD. Certainly between the years of, like before this new Modern Warfare engine thing that they've got going on right now, between like Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, they feel like pretty similar to the same game. Like the underlying tech feels pretty damn similar. And so there's people out there that will as a fan say, surely you can just like drag and drop the files that you made and like that will work, right? A lot of the time, you are totally remaking the things.
Right.
Like 100%. It's actually more work because you're trying to completely remake the things, and then you're also trying to follow specifications for stuff that worked in the old game that might be more difficult in the new engine, even if the engine's only changed just a little bit, or even if the way that you're building the levels and compiling the levels and the dependencies that you've got in the libraries that you're using in the code, like all of those things might have only tweaked just a teeny tiny bit, and that could still mean that you have to do infinitely more work to recreate the whole vision. And that's a game studio who know how to use their own tools and who know exactly what they made a couple of years ago, and they've got all of that knowledge. And even then, it's a nightmare. It's a total ball ache. And I'm speaking from like knowing lots of devs that have like cried to me about this. Like, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And so the idea of being forced to do that between different entire studios that don't even know each other, they can't communicate in any way necessarily. They're trying to make this thing interoperable when it doesn't even fit in your universe.
Right.
It's a non-argument.
Right.
I think some people just don't know the difference of what you just explained versus, for example, you have a sandbox game that someone creates and there is a standard, let's say, right?
Yeah.
That Fortnite and Call of Duty both make certain characters as like a partnership for the sandbox that will work in the sandbox.
Yeah.
So in that way, yeah, you could have a Fortnite character playing with a Call of Duty character in this game where they're both made to be working in this game.
Right.
But that's, you know, like that's not, it's not going to be crisscross all over the place where Harry Potter's and Fortnite's and Call of Duty. Like, it's not going to be like that.
And
so
that's
that's the difference that I think
Yeah.
sometimes gets lost in translation, maybe on Twitter especially.
Very much so.
That you did a great job of explaining.
Well,
Yeah,
the addendum to that is that with the Cryptoad, that is one of those things where I do see a situation.
He's got it on his watch.
He's got it on the watch. I do see a situation. What's his name?
Norman.
Norman.
Yeah, that's my guy.
There you
Norman.
go. So I do see a situation where, because the Toads community and Gremplin and all the folks working on that are so focused on just like transparency and trying to
Shared IP.
Yeah, exactly. Like trying to, like, their CCO, they're trying to really make sure that the Toads can be used for just to do cool things.
Right.
Like I really think that that's like a foundational underlying kind of ethos of that particular NFT project. And it's the sort of thing where I can foresee them seeing a new standard that someone is proposing of like, hey, we're making this game, and in order to get our stuff into the game, you just need to create assets in this standard, and then yes, it will work. And maybe some other crypto projects, crypto games or whatever, then also use it. I can see that happening.
Yeah.
It's just that thinking that these AAA IPs, these behemoths that are so enormous and making such complicated games are so hard to make these days, thinking that they can just share assets, unfortunately, is not realistic.
You said behemoths? Behemoths?
Yeah, that's one where
I was like, wow, that's a very different way to pronounce it than I've heard.
Fun fact, I did some sponsored videos for EA in like 2017 for Battlefield 1. I'm actually in the game. So like
No way.
my
That's
videos
sick.
are in the game. Like
That's
I met a celebrity today.
right.
all right, I don't know who these guys are. Scum.
From the streets.
EA Sports. So
I was in
I'm
Battlefield, but you can't find me in the metaverse.
Yeah, right.
I'm not interoperable.
facts. So I'm in the game, and there's a blimp, right? A Zed
the blimp?
You're on the blimp.
It's my face.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, go ahead.
So it's being taken down, and they have a name in the game, which is
Behemoth.
Behemoth.
Behemoth. You said like Behemoth. Behemoth.
B-mouth, yeah.
Behemoth.
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 B-mouth.
What do you call it?
Behemoth.
Behemoth. Oh,
There
that's
it
what
is.
you call it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not even sure
I
this is
said
the right way to
Behemoth.
Be a moth.
Be a moth. There you go.
Be a moth.
Listen, you can be a moth today. Call 1-800-MC Sports Talk. So, yeah, I said it wrong in the thing. And so anyone that's ever watched those tutorials in Battlefield 1 and has sort of seen that particular bit of it has seen me saying,
Be a moth.
be a moth.
That's great.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I caught that one. I was like, wow.
Wait a minute.
Listen,
Wow.
those
That's a
tutorials are interoperable because they're just MP4s that I sent to EA. So if you want to put those in your game and
you go.
explain how Battlefield 1 works,
Perfect.
you can
you
do
go.
that.
Perfect.
Yeah. I like to draw it back to like the gaming side of things. Like I do think that there will be a lot of really cool stuff that comes of the space.
I can promise it because I talk with.
Okay.
I'm talking with all the teams
Yeah.
behind all the very cool games coming out over the next 18 months. And there are some really cool games coming out with really good intelligent use cases of NFTs and crypto tech.
So let's.
And interoperability is not part of it.
That's really interesting.
It's not. It
So-
shouldn't be. I don't like interoperability.
Let's give a quick before we talk about any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Let's give a quick outline of where things
out to
are
our
at
sponsors.
right now. Shout out to my sponsors. So right now,
Yes.
in the scene,
Okay.
you've got Axie.
Yes.
You've got a lot of games that are actually before the the game's
There's a
not even
lot of
out. They're like,
playable games that you could do.
there are a handful.
Yeah. Right.
There are a lot of Ponzi's.
Well, there's a difference between play and earn gaming and GameFi.
Give me more.
Okay, so play and earn gaming is a video game that you would normally play with either a tokenized aspect to it, like an earn aspect, like Axie Infinity, where like with Axie Infinity, basically the higher in MMR you climb, the more SLP or cryptocurrency you generate per win in the arena. So that's like a tokenized way of doing it that Axie Infinity does. And then there's NFT related stuff to where like there's a game called Guild of Guardians. They just dropped their pre-alpha. It's been very fun. The way their game will work is that like there's, you know, in a dungeon crawler, right, you have items that you put on your heroes to help like them bring, you know, buff their damage and buff their health so that you can go and do better bosses and whatnot. So in Guild of Guardians, you're going to get drops from beating bosses, item drops. And those are NFTs. So let's say you get like a 1 in 1,000 item that's worth like 10 grand, like lit, you know what I'm saying? You just made 10 grand on an item drop. This is
Cool.
theoretical, but like
Yeah.
that's how they're doing it, you know, like they have a token as well, but like it's going to be a lot of like NFT, RNG, NFT generation that you know, you can either use on your people or you can sell in the marketplace. Like there's a lot of games doing that. And then there's GameFi, which now, God, everyone defines this differently, but like I define it as gamified DeFi, right? Gamified decentralized finance. DeFi is, you know, there's a lot of DeFi Ponzi's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, name your favorite DeFi Ponzi. Like,
This guy Mystic 7, he's my favorite Ponzi, baby.
like there's a lot of them, you know?
Yeah.
Rome and all these like, all these DAOs and stuff, they're all Ponzi's, right? They're not I think also too, like the word Ponzi, in the traditional world is like a very, very like evil, dark, you know, a small group of people win. Everybody
This is
loses
true.
big.
It's a good point, actually.
In the crypto space, Ponzi is used it's a very different term, and it has a
Yeah.
very different way of like Ponzi.
I've seen
Like
people saying we
Ponzinomics.
should stop using that word
Yes.
because it gives people that aren't in the crypto space the wrong impression.
A very bad
Whereas
impression.
it's like an endearing thing in crypto,
Right.
weirdly. Like we
'Cause,
all
like-
love our Ponzi's,
Yeah.
which sounds insane
Because
because
they're technically Ponzi's, but like they're not Ponzi's in the traditional sense to where like they're super evil and milking and like everyone loses except for like two people.
some are.
I mean, there's scams.
They're certainly
right,
out there.
right, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like pumping up scams. Like the scams. Well, that's a whole other thing in the crypto space. The scam issue is a really big issue. That's got to get fixed. But like, So gamified DeFi is almost like Ponzi-nomics meets gaming, to where you use NFTs. Typically, the way how it works, you buy NFTs, and then you stake them like you would stake a cryptocurrency, and then those NFTs that you stake then generate a currency. And you can use that currency in different strategic gamified ways to progress further into the game.
So it's an in-game currency that is also actually in your wallet.
Cryptocurrency.
Yes. So just off the jump, you're currently playing
Eternal Elves.
and you're mainly playing
Raid Party.
Okay. And these are two of the biggest ones right now. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Two
Elves has fallen off a bit. Matt's lost money in that one.
It's becoming slightly illiquid and it's freaking me out.
Okay.
God.
Either way, these are two
Like popular names like Ether Orcs and Wolf Game. Like these are like bigger ones. That people play.
Perfect. Yeah. So in these games, if you're totally unfamiliar with what this like is associated with, would it be fair to say you can think of it as like, did you guys ever play RuneScape?
Oh God. If I say no, I'll get in trouble. You didn't either?
I didn't
Fuck
play
yes.
it.
No, I did not.
Normies. So, or maybe it's me, the normie, for playing RuneScape. I don't know.
No. I think
Anyway,
we're the normies.
like if you're in a RuneScape or you're in like a WoW or whatever, right? You're in some kind of MMO. Something I used to do in RuneScape is I would like harvest rune essence all the time. I would go and like mine my rune essence, and I would get my rune essence. I would get it on the bank, and I'd go to the Grand Exchange and I'd sell that shit, right? Or I'd make my air runes and then I'd sell them. So like, I'd do a thing in game and then I would sell them and I would make some gold. The similar thing is happening here. You're doing an in-game action. You're like killing an enemy, for instance.
Right,
You might be like going on a quest. You might be doing like some kind of activity. And it's just that the kickback is not just gold in my RuneScape bank account in Varrock, but actually it's like real money, essentially.
Right.
It's just in whatever token. So for example, in Raid Party, it's confetti.
Right.
In Elves, it's
Ren.
Ren. Okay. And so you've got this currency then that you could just sell at market and just get ETH or get dollars or whatever.
Right.
Or you can reinvest it back into the game, because the things in the game are each action in the game is its own currency sink.
It's a sink, yeah,
Right. So your confetti, for instance, could just be sold at market for dollars, or you could say, well, I want to go on another quest, and maybe going on the quest is going to cost some confetti, or maybe like,
Or you want
I
to
don't know.
upgrade. The way that Raid Party works is
Yeah.
like, you have fighters, right? You have a team. You have a
Okay.
team that goes into a raid dungeon and battles a boss, right?
Yeah.
It's an idle MMO, which means you stake your team
Yep.
and you don't do anything, and they do it for you.
And they
the
just
game runs
continuously
itself.
auto attack and
Exactly.
kill monsters.
And they're just constantly doing a set amount of damage. And that amount of damage determines how much confetti you generate per hour, right? So you can take your confetti, you can sell it, or you can take your confetti and then you can use it to summon or generate new NFTs, more fighters, or upgrade the fighters that you have. Like, there's sinks. So, and then this is Ponzi-nomics, right? Like the more confetti that you buy or generate and spend on your team, the stronger your team gets, which means the stronger your team gets, the more confetti you generate, which means the faster you make confetti, which means the faster you upgrade. You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay, so
snowballs progress.
Is this pretty similar with Elves?
Almost identical, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
They're all the
games
same
work
thing.
racing.
Yeah.
Right.
But really what you're doing is you're racing time.
Exactly.
Because the difference between this and RuneScape is that RuneScape, the value of the money is the value of the money. These are so new that like the actual value of the money fluctuates dramatically day to day. So like Ren 2 weeks ago is worth 40 cents. Now it's worth like half of that.
Yeah.
So you're producing the same amount, but you're making half as much.
Right. So I mean, ultimately, the way I see a lot of these games, and like I'm a big, like I've had a gaming YouTube channel for over 10 years. So like, it's not like I hate video games, but I look at these games and just on first impression right now, it just looks like a way to sort of almost distract yourself from the fact that you are putting money into something like
burning it.
and burn.
Yeah, lighting money on fire, baby. That's the fun part about it.
What's interesting about
Unless
this,
you pull out early enough.
That's true. Never pull out though.
I would say this, I would say right now, a lot of the games, at least GameFi games,
These are not for Web2 people.
they
are
are
for
crypto,
DeFi
quite
hardcore
close to
junkies.
gambling, I would say.
Right.
Okay, perfect. So I want to sit on this point for a second, okay?
These are not video games.
A video game,
Yeah, these are not video
ultimately, especially if it's, let's say, RuneScape, okay, has a membership, right? You have to pay to use, or EVE Online or whatever, right? You've got a membership you need to pay. Wow, same thing. And so there is an argument to be made, I think, that you are putting money in and you're burning money, you're not getting any money back, you're just clicking on your screen. What does that do for you in your life? Right? Like there is an outdated at this point boomer argument that says that, right? And so you can apply that similar thinking to this and say, well, like you're just clicking and like getting your characters to auto attack and then you're like burning money. And
But you're generating money though. You're yielding. This is a yield farm game.
That is not the best. Well, okay, let's talk about the fun.
I know where you were going. I knew where you were going with it. Just get there.
So
I'm having a great time losing money. Okay, I'll say it.
You are having fun. Is that true?
I am addicted.
Okay, pause. That's different.
I love this.
Are
And
you
it's
having
not fun?
Okay.
Addicted.
Are you having fun?
Honestly, I don't know. I would say because I don't know, the answer is no.
I'm having fun. I'm having fun.
Are you having fun?
I'm genuinely having fun.
Fun.
I am seriously having fun with this. I have it open. The changing of the bosses is fun. The Discord community is extremely active. It's a bunch of degens who are all negatively financially
all in the hole. Yeah.
Everyone memes about how we're all going to be poor and going to zero. It's a fun vibe. All the whales in the crypto community all pop in, so you see familiar names and faces. It's
and
very
laugh
fun
as they dump on you.
Yes, actually. Yes. No. I have fun with it. Yeah,
Pranksy, you've bankrupted this man. Just so you're aware.
I don't know if he liquidated the liquidity pool. Pranksy, please. I need you to liquidity pool. No, so like I do have fun with it though. You know,
that was a cry for help.
That was actually a cry for help.
It was a desperation cry for
help. We need way more liquidity. But like,
so you're having fun.
I have fun with it.
Okay, so this is interesting. You, Matt, are suffering from addiction.
No, I'm not calling it suffering.
No. You're
I am addicted to the grind of like leveling up. Like building something. It's the same thing with any business. I love building something from nothing, but it's just gamified building something from nothing. With the lure of I could make money off of this.
Right.
Deep down knowing like every single day that I don't sell is another day closer to zero.
So is it wow.
Maybe not zero, but like way less than the dream that you think you might get to.
Is that any different to you spending a load of money on some traditional video game?
The difference here for me is that I love the space, and because it's so new, I want to like learn on the ground. Like I want to be in it. Like I want to learn the problems. I want to learn what's good, what's bad, learn how it works. Like I want to be in the trenches.
So you're not paying the money because you're enjoying it. You're paying the money because you're like,
myself, it's okay if I lose all my money because I'm learning a lot in the process, and to me that's valuable.
If you didn't have a YouTube channel,
not having fun losing money.
Okay,
if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah, right. If you didn't have the YouTube channel, would you feel like hard done by for having played the game and lost money?
I wouldn't play it.
You wouldn't play it at all.
There was a period of time where when we were doing like video game YouTube content, I was playing the game just because of the content.
That's fair.
I wasn't playing for fun.
That's a lot of YouTubers.
It started as fun, and when it became a business, somewhere along the way, it became less fun and more business. And I was like, now I'm doing this for the content and not for the enjoyment. And that's when it became like,
the difference,
this is becoming hard because I don't enjoy it.
The difference is that in that situation, if you had not been making the content, you would have potentially been enjoying it at the time. It was making the content that made you not enjoy it.
Yeah.
Whereas this isn't the content that's making you not enjoy it. It's the fact that you're losing money. So what I'm asking is, if you hadn't been making content and you've just been losing money, would you be?
Would there be any
enjoyment?
This is different though because
let me wait. The way that you're explaining this, you need to watch your wording.
Okay.
Yo, you're losing money. No. This is an investment, man.
But this is what
you could argue that it's entertainment. You could argue that.
No.
Gambling. Okay, think about gambling. You know you're going to lose in gambling. Right. You know you're going to lose, but you still do it.
So with Raid Party, I am tens of thousands of dollars under my investment, right? Tens of thousands. So as in like, I have not broken even on my investment because I haven't sold. If I sold my stack, I would be fine on my investment. But this game is generating me $800 to $1,000 a day. So
but like, no. But this is the problem. Okay.
What?
It is abstracting, right? The fact that you are burning money. And in that abstraction, they're doing something very smart. They're saying, you need to pay us 50 grand, and then I'm going to give you $1,000 a day. And you in your head
I think that's an unfair way to put it.
No, that's not how it works. Not at all.
You're breaking it down to like an exact example and making it. You're losing the whole like entertainment and like enjoyment value that has to be there. You're not going to just go to a game.
You just said that you don't think you enjoy it.
But I
it's
enjoy
not there-
I enjoy the building,
wait, but-
and I enjoy the learning part of it.
Do you think?
But
do you think
I don't know.
Valorant
I don't think
pros
anyone
enjoy
likes-
playing a game of Valorant? It's not enjoyable. It's stressful. It's high octane. It's very intense.
Yeah, but winning's enjoyable. The achievement of growth or success
So is
what
minting a
is
good
enjoyable.
NFT and being able to flip it for a profit, which you can do with your earnings in these games.
That to me that's different though, because it's like you're exchanging something for, like, it's not, there's no grind, you don't need practice in that case. You don't need like dedication or consistency.
Well, because
you just need to be early, surely.
You
just need to be early, no?
Sometimes, I don't know.
Or you just need to have a ton of money.
Right, that's true. These
Like,
a lot
that's
of these are
different.
Wales games.
But do these when you say they're whale games, do they scale in some kind of way where if I had $1 million to put into Raid Party right now, it would be profitable, but because you're not putting in $1 million, you're only putting in 50K, it's not profitable?
Well, I don't know about right now, but like, let's say we're both starting on the same date.
It's a time thing.
The person who has more money to put in will have a quicker, easier, better return than the person who has less money.
But is that actually the case?
I don't think so.
I don't think that could be true.
That's how Raid Party works. At least that's how Raid Party works. That's how Wolf Game works.
And I think it's all about timing. I think it's all about timing.
No, but if you start on the same people start on the same day,
yeah,
it's your cost basis. With a game like Raid Party,
but you having more money initially doesn't mean your cost basis is lower.
It means that your yield per day is higher.
But you put in more. You're more in the hole.
But games like this, you can snowball in progress. You snowball.
You're saying like the compound effect is enough to make it back quicker.
Significantly.
There's like a certain threshold.
Significantly.
So then there's like a specific like range that's the perfect range in that case, based on making the perfect moves,
like with Raid
the
Party,
perfect timing.
There's like an aggregated damage amount where if you have multiple teams and they do X amount of damage, like you're in a much better place to regenerate your.
Okay, so
that's not necessarily the most amount of money. There's certainly got to be like a.
I don't know. I feel like it would just be a threshold number above
The way this game works, there's leaderboard rewards. So if you do have a lot of money and you're on the top 100, like you're getting ETH or NFTs back, which helps your cost basis as well.
Interesting.
So like that also happens.
So you need that in order for it to be profitable?
You don't
or no?
need that, no.
Because it sounds like to me.
I bought this game at Mint.
Okay.
At Mint. I was as early as you could go to it.
Sure.
The game then flooded for weeks and weeks and weeks and bled down in price.
Yep.
The people who bought way after Mint, when it bled down in price out of conviction, are in a way better spot than I am.
Okay.
Even if they spent less money than me. And I spent a lot of money in this game to bring my cost basis down.
But so what I'm curious about is if you buy in at Mint,
yeah,
right, and you put in 50 grand, I put in $1 million.
Okay.
In that situation, let's say, and again, I'm going to use hypothetical numbers because I don't know the specifics of the game, but let's say 50 grand gets you 5 teams.
Okay.
Like 5 parties or whatever, right?
Okay.
Or 5 heroes or something. But like you've got like 5 groups.
Okay.
And let's say with my $1 million, I get, let's just say it's 1,000,
sure,
right? Let's just say I've got like a hell of a lot more than you do, right? In that situation, because I have more teams, is there a thing where like for every extra team you get, the whole group will all do an extra bit of damage or something, and then that's in theory.
It's hard to explain this without explaining how the game works because the game is complex. But like the easiest way I can explain it without explaining the actual like game theory and strategy is that the more money for a game like this, right?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure games like Wolf Game worked similarly, and Ether like a lot of these games. The more okay. There's a compound snowball effect where like there's sinks, there's currency sinks in these games.
Yeah, I should have said 100, not 1,000 before. Go ahead.
Well,
Sorry,
these currency sinks enable you to make your teams stronger and bigger and perform better, like any other video game, right? Except in these games, the bigger and stronger and better performing your teams are, the more currency, the cryptocurrency they generate per day.
I understand that,
right?
But the difference is that
you're not reselling this crypto market.
I understand that. The issue is that
it's got to be non-linear.
Yes, exactly. It has to be a curve.
Which at that point, there has to be a point on the curve that's the best value to return ratio.
For sure.
Like if you put in 10 million.
That's too.
Well, I guess
no, it's a curve.
If the curve is like,
it's just a curve.
If it's like
it's not going to plateau. Like
but the way he's explaining is it's linear. From what I understand, there's no like.
That's what I'm not understanding. Yeah, so
there's got to be some compound effect that makes it go.
I don't know how to explain this without explaining how the game works. But again, the more damage.
But if it's the same thing. If okay,
listen, guys, I'm telling you.
Okay, here's the question. Here's how we can.
Here's how it works.
If I do double the damage,
yes,
do I get double the reward?
If my team does 10,000 damage and your team does 20,000 damage and my team generates, let's say, 5 confetti a day,
then I would
generate
10. Okay.
Right. So that's not significant of a gap.
To get from
That's linear,
To
though.
summon,
Hold on.
summon a new fighter, it's 100 confetti.
I don't care.
Okay.
The leaderboard is where it would separate.
Yes, but the
Not even the leaderboard.
so
not even leaderboard rewards.
you're saying
It's past that.
10,000 damage, 5 confetti.
That's not inaccurate, but yes.
Sure, we'll use those numbers.
Okay.
And let's say that's $10,000 to do 10,000 damage. $10,000 buys you that team, and they do 10,000.
It sounds like it's not. You don't have the exact numbers.
Just work with me.
Yeah, but these price points don't make it. Then it just doesn't make sense.
you're not basing it in ETH, so he doesn't know. Actually,
What's the ETH value?
he doesn't really know what the value are.
$10,000 buys you a team that does 10,000 damage.
Okay.
Okay. And they earn 10 confetti a day.
Sure. Okay.
We'll go 10, 10, 10.
Got it.
Being a dead horse, man.
Got it.
With $20,000,
Yes.
what you're saying
Okay.
is that has to buy me a team that does more than 20,000 damage and thus earns more than 20 confetti a day. That's what you're saying. Is that true?
I don't think he knows the numbers.
But he should understand what I've just said, right?
I got you.
I don't
He's
understand what you're
twice
saying.
explained it's linear, but he's also saying he doesn't know the exact damage to confetti ratio. Like
You don't need
it's not-
to.
You have to.
The shape of the relationship is either like
Well,
this or it's like
we
that.
don't need to know the exact curve, but if it's even
take your damage,
slightly
if you
different, if
take
it's
your
even
total
slightly more than
damage-
2x, if it's not 1 to 1,
Yeah.
then there is a curve.
Yes.
We don't know how much the curve is, but it doesn't matter. But the point is, like, there is a curve, but he doesn't know the numbers, so we're never going to know.
But what I'm wondering is
I'm wondering the same thing,
I'm
because if it's
wondering
linear, then you can spend an infinite amount of money in the same spot.
and he's fucked.
You're fucked no matter what.
See, but like I'm like that's not how it works.
Okay. All right.
so
Let's
then-
take your word for it that that's not how it works, right? In that scenario, you say it's a whale game as well, right?
Yeah, so I've interviewed the whales of this game.
Yes.
And I've talked with them. Like I understand their game strategy into this.
Okay,
and
so
it's very different from an average player.
So why is an average player playing?
What?
Why is an average player playing the
Well,
game?
because for a game like this, man, like the yield's not bad. Like if you bought
You've just said it's not profitable. It's below. That is below my line.
oh, nice.
The yield's not bad compared to every other game.
No, the yield,
But it's still bad.
No, but also you're in the
it
hole.
is.
You've said that you're not profitable. You put in 50K and it's not profitable. You've lost tens of thousands of dollars, right?
No, the way that you're explaining it, this is you
Maybe
gotta
I misunderstood.
No,
I'm
no,
sorry.
the way that you're explaining it, how it sounds like, and how people are going to hear it and think that what you're saying is like, oh, you spent 50 grand, all that money is gone, and you have nothing. And
Is
you just
that-
have a video game. That's not true. I spent. Let's say I spent $40,000.
Sure.
I spent 40 grand so far from selling. Right, from selling NFTs, I've made 10 grand back. The
Okay.
teams that I currently own, I own 2 teams now. One is a very high damage, very enhanced team
Yep.
with high damage fighters.
So you've
and the other's kind of a shitty
you've
one.
spent in-game currency that you've earned confetti
yes,
to buff the team,
right.
So they're more powerful. They're earning you more yield a day.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. So I've got myself to a point where I'm comfortable, where I'm no longer reinvesting in my team and I can start selling.
So how much do
Selling confetti, that is.
How much is that team
Fighters.
worth?
So
You can use confetti to summon fighters that he then sells.
and then you sell the fighters.
exactly.
That's a better strategy than selling confetti directly.
Yes.
Okay.
Because, yes.
So
Much better.
40K in the hole.
Sure.
Okay. 10K back already from
Right.
selling stuff. You have 2 teams remaining.
Yes.
One team is super buffed, one is less buffed.
Right.
How much are they each worth?
I don't know the exact.
Do you want to give me a rough estimate? Is it like 10K each, roughly?
So
Just do the ETH. What's a hero worth?
I mean, I have to look at the floor prices. I don't
Oh,
monitor
fair.
the floor prices that
Well,
heavy.
you know what the fighters are worth, right? You said 0.55.
I mean,
And your
floor
fighters
price
might be
is
worth, like-
0.55. Mine are 1,300 plus damage, which means they're easily over an ETH, and they're enhanced, which means they're over 2 ETH. So
how many in a team? How many
Four.
fighters?
I have 4. So I probably have 8 ETH worth of
24 grand.
fighters. My one main
probably-
team.
he's probably break even
My
better.
one team is
Okay.
probably worth like 9 ETH, like the big team. It's probably worth like 9 ETH.
Okay, so 9 ETH on that team.
And
Call
then
it,
the other
call it
team
5
is
on the
maybe
other
like
one.
4 or 5 ETH.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's call it 5. Let's be generous.
Yeah,
so
right, he's good.
Yeah, so let's say it's 15 ETH.
And I've so I have 11 ETH left that I need to recoup before I break even on my investment.
And that recoupment is at current floor prices totally possible from selling both those teams, because both those teams are worth, let's call it 14, 15 ETH,
Yeah, 100%.
which at ETH at 3K is about 45
So
grand.
with these
that's
games,
going to get you out of the hole.
You have to remember that with these games, your yield per day
Mm-hmm.
isn't your total assets. The cool thing about GameFi games is that you're buying NFTs.
Yes.
And you can upgrade them, which makes them appreciate in value. And if this game, this is Ponzinomics, if this game continues to be popular, new people come in, whales keep coming in, people keep playing long term, right? Your NFTs will hold value over the long term. So you buy these assets, which yes, may be expensive, $40,000 up front isn't cheap, right? But if these assets, we play long-term games in the NFT space, right? You hope we like Wolf Game is still around, Etherworks are still around. Creeps, some fucking house, a 2 ETH floor, still around. These GameFi games still exist, right? So you hope that these games will last for months, because if they don't, they go to zero. We joke about that. And if these games don't go to zero, you'll be able to recoup your entire investment just based off of the yield that you get from your initial investment.
Yeah.
And then you have your moon bag, right? Your NFTs that are still generating you yield. The ideal scenario with these games, maybe I should explain this. The ideal scenario is that you get in early, sure, or whatever, or during a dip, whatever. You put a bunch of money in, you're able to recoup your investment in a couple weeks, in a month and a half. And then after that, it's pure profit. Right now, like if I were to recoup my entire investment and I'd still be able to generate $500 a day in the green, that's $500 a day. That's insane.
It sounds amazing. My fear with it is that
not everyone wins this game.
Someone is definitely losing.
For sure. This is Ponzinomics, right?
It's Ponzinomics, right?
Yeah.
Someone is, and many people are going to be losing.
That's why, to loop all the way back, GameFi, it's not really, you can gamify anything. It's not gaming. It's not what the Web 2 audiences are going to come over to. It's not what people like Asmongold are going to see and be like, oh yeah, I get it now, crypto gaming. Like, this is not it.
No.
GameFi is for NFT and it's the perfect mix, the midway meeting point between the crypto degens and the NFT degens. Because NFT people and crypto people, although they exist under crypto, really aren't the same thing. DeFi people do DeFi, NFT people do NFTs. Some people cross over, but not everybody, right?
Sure.
GameFi is the crossover between DeFi degens and NFT degens. I think it will always have a place. I think it will always be popular. I think it will always be a thing. Gaming, NFT gaming, Web3 gaming is going to look they're going to look like traditional games you would normally play. There's games like Big Time, I think will be a AAA game. It's going to be great. I watched a demo from them. Beautiful. Their tokenomics structure and their NFT structure, beautiful. Like you can be a Web2 gamer, not know what the hell NFTs are, play this game, never know what an NFT is, and play it just fine. Fun game, good times, play with friends. And if you know friends who are NFT people and you end up finding something rare in a dungeon, they can mint your NFT. You could make a couple $1,000s. Who knows? You know what I'm saying?
So that is why initially you drew the distinction between the two sort of sectors, because one is trying to make video games and one is trying to make Ponzi schemes that might also be fun.
Gamified Ponzi schemes.
Gamified Ponzi's, right.
Yeah. And so I wish we didn't go on so much of a tangent trying to explain the Ponzinomics end of it, because I think that's the less exciting side of it.
But I think it's less exciting. I do agree. And I think there's plenty more to discuss about all sorts of other things, and we could talk for hours about it. It's just something that I know that both of you guys are playing these games right now. And
you are way more into it than I am now. Like, this is the first game that I've played. I also just swept the floor to some degree. This game freaks.
I was about to say maybe he should be keeping it that way because he's addicted right now. But
nice, I've heard of that.
I really don't know nearly as much about like the ins and outs of the games.
The crazy thing with the NFT space, like with the crypto space, and we've talked about this, is that like there's so many different niches, and each sector of crypto is so deep and so dense, and there's so much to know, so much information flowing around that like you kind of have to dedicate your whole self to it so that you can grasp it.
It's all encompassing.
So you're more into crypto, like coins and stuff as a whole, I guess I would say.
It's a bit of both, but it's different. I'm in different spheres to you guys for sure.
Right. Matt is way more into like, NFT market, NFT grinding, and NFT tools, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then I have attached myself to specifically to NFT gaming, Web3 gaming. Like there's so many different niches to like get into.
Right.
Which is kind of the hard part about
I think like the last thing I want to say on the Ponzi side of things is just because
he loves it, dude.
I know. He's all
about it's because like
we're gonna make it.
You're
wag me, dude.
Starting a crypto YouTube channel.
Yes.
Right. You also separate to that have a new crypto gaming play and earn YouTube channel. Is that correct?
My second channel that I've had over the years, I'm just reformatting to be a channel where I upload gaming content for Web3 games.
So it's Web3 games on one, and crypto, just whatever degen activities on another. Is that more or less? Or
so it's gonna be a mix between crypto degen stuff. I don't have enough time for degen plays as much anymore. I wish I did, but it'll be more educational. I see the crypto content as like a onboarding platform for people who are interested.
So
to learn more, not get scammed, how to set up a wallet, stuff like that.
The second channel that is previously just been a standard second channel that you're making more crypto gaming stuff. Will you cover Ponzi's on there? Ponzonomics.
Yeah, see, that's interesting
GameFi.
because so Raid Party, I've made a couple videos about Raid Party. I made 2 videos that one went on the gaming channel.
Yep.
And the another one went on the gaming channel. And then I interviewed one of the top players.
Cool.
Shout out to Andrew, legend. That video went on my crypto channel. I'm still experimenting.
I see. Yeah.
Because it's gaming, but it's not gaming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
it's skinned like a game. It looks like a game. It has gamified. It has game theory to it. But I see in the long term, the GameFi stuff will exist in the crypto channel, and actual games with gameplay will happen on the gaming.
That's
channel.
interesting because as speaking purely from YouTuber perspective, as someone who's very like overcautious about how I talk to my audience,
Definitely.
which might sound ironic, seeing as we've been talking about like sucking each other's thumbs in this podcast.
You should see what happens off camera.
Correct. The fact that I know that like I love a lot of like I'm a crypto enjoyer, all that stuff, but it in a lot of ways it feels very predatory. These games, they really feel like
Raid Party.
Yes, they feel like
They're Ponzi's, man.
I know, but
you know what you're getting into when you get into it.
Well, but that's the thing is, I think a lot of people are ignorant, and on a YouTube channel, I worry that if I was to make a second channel, let's say, and make some videos about Raid Party on there, I would worry that people who just didn't know any better would jump in and be like, oh, but it's yielding me like $1,000 a day. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm 20 grand in the hole, but if I get $1,000 a day, I'll be fine. This example I'm giving literally happened to a friend of ours where he hit me up and he was like, Milo, I've just put 20 ETH.
Who, Lex?
Okay, well,
Dude, you can't. No,
that's exactly what happened.
I'm not having this.
What?
You're making him seem like he's like doesn't know any better.
He doesn't.
Let him be himself.
And lose
Let him
his
be
20 ETH?
Bro,
Yeah, you do.
You're not there to like. He's
crypto,
a grown man,
right? Also in crypto and NFTs,
But he's my friend.
Yes, obviously we don't want our friends to get hurt. We get yes.
I want to protect my friend from
and I'm not disagreeing with you that you like need to have some ethics when you're talking about things you think might not be good for certain people.
Yeah.
Sure. But if someone's got $20,000 to throw into a game expecting to make $1,000 a day and just don't know any better,
right?
How many people exist like that?
I guess
you're talking about like
Darwin wrote that book for a reason.
I can count on 2 hands how many people exist in the world like that. 20 grand to throw in that have no clue what they're doing.
You think that's 10 people in the world?
First of all, if they have 20 grand to throw at a game like this, that's this new, that have this like completely like
that is
unproven
0.01% of the population of the world.
Then they have a lot of money to work with, period.
Bro, why do you think there's so much gambling regulation out there? Why do you think it's so insane to gamble in certain states? Why do you think that there's like such an obsession with that?
True.
It's because it's dangerous as fuck.
True.
People will ruin their lives. That's not 10 people in the world. That's a significant portion of the population.
I'm ruining my life right now.
20,000 is
actively.
If you said 2,000 or 200, I'd be like, yeah, true. 20,000?
Yeah, but
where are people getting $20,000 to throw in a game like that?
For some people,
you're making zombie sushi videos, baby.
It's not like you just whip out 20 grand and throw it at the game. You have to get a MetaMask. You have to understand how to make the transaction. You have to understand how to play the game, how to lose the money. Like you have to think about all these things. And if you're just an ignorant idiot that doesn't know how to do any of that, there's no way you're going to be able to get to the point of actually losing the money.
Right.
Okay.
You need to know crypto to get these games.
Okay.
And crypto is a very volatile space and people lose money all the time. Like you have to be aware of that.
Yes.
You know,
and you will learn that if you lose money.
But shout out Lex, you're not, come on, man. He just did you dirty.
I did.
He just did you dirty.
But I think for justifiable reason, because Lex DM'd me in the middle of the night and said, hey, have you heard of this? And then said you should buy into it and all this stuff.
And it was the literal top.
And it was the literal Pico top. My man put his finger on the point on the chart and it was down only from there. Now,
but Lex is also someone who's not stupid.
That's correct.
Is a glorified degenerate.
Yes,
to
very
the
much
highest degree.
Yes.
And has the money to spend.
Right.
I can't think of anyone else that fits that exact category that also would DM us and be like, yo, buy creeps at 9 ETH. Buy it when the token's at 0.6, the literal top.
Yeah.
No one else is doing that.
I love that.
So it's like such a specific example is what I'm saying.
I mean, he's
to a kid who's watching a YouTube video like my channel right now. Someone watching right now, right? That's in the 13 to 17 age range that wants to get involved in this, that likes games, that thinks, finance is cool, like whatever. They're interested in this topic. I can't see many of them having 20 grand to throw in. Now, if they have $200, that's still too much to lose.
And that could be their whole net worth.
Right.
There's still an ethical line there that I absolutely agree with you. Like, that has to be adhered to, like thought about, right? And so that's why we're talking about these things like as they are.
Yeah.
We're expecting to lose money here.
Yeah.
That's the truth of it. Like, there's not
Wait,
most people.
You're expecting to lose money.
I really
Wait,
am.
you're saying I'm not gonna make it?
After playing the game for 2 weeks, I'm like, this is a losing battle. Like, because the other thing is I'm comparing myself against all the other people in my group that play it, and they have 20, 30, elves, like
they're
20,
like
30
really
grand
into
in
it
it.
compared to you.
Right. And I'm like, and every day when I check up with them, I am way behind.
Yeah.
Like the fact that I was a week late to it after them, I am so much farther behind. It's not even close.
Yeah.
That curve that applies with the growth is such a real thing. And if you miss it and you're like on the lower end of the curve and it's just a small amount of time between the bottom and the next. So it ramps up quick.
Yeah. Do you think?
And at some point, if it's not a good game, like it sounds like Raid Party has no like supply cap, which to me is like, get out.
Oh, for like.
If you can constantly mint new characters, there's no cap. That's an instant path to zero.
Right.
That's like clear as day. If there's an infinite supply, like at some point they're going to be worth nothing.
Of course.
So you're battling. You're literally battling time.
Right.
You're playing against time, and maybe you enjoy the cutthroat nature of it, right? Like I don't know, but with this game that I'm playing with elves, there is a cap, and there is like each campaign has a cap of how many people can play it.
Right.
So you're battling time, but there's it's not an infinite. It's like
just
supply on these things.
It's really interesting because like so ultimately you are going in with the expectation you're going to lose money here.
I think that's the general foundation of every investment I ever make. And if you don't have that understanding, don't invest.
Good. I think that's healthy.
That is the truth. It's not just
Like
this is the most extreme version of any investment, I would say.
100%.
It's the most degen. It's the most. That's why I said the first thing I said was this is the closest to gambling out of anything I've seen.
Yes. So do you think it should be regulated in the same way that gambling is?
It's going to have to be at some point.
Yeah.
But I also think.
What do you think?
Here's the thing. By the time it gets to the point where government regulation actually catches up with it,
we're gonna be living in Puerto Rico. Shit won't even matter.
Well, you're gonna be dead broke, or we're gonna be dead broke.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
There is no. By the time that happens, I imagine that these games will be in a different era, like a different space.
They'll have evolved faster than the regulation can catch up.
This is so like cheesy, but
Dude,
it is
regulation doesn't
so
evolve fast.
goddamn early that we are like in the stages where it's chaos. It's mass chaos. It's the Wild West.
So fun.
Like it is literally a free for all.
These are the fun days, though. You know?
That's part of the fun, man. I love this shit. I love being like, yo, I was there when this shit was nuts.
Right.
And I lost
before it was
50
regulated.
grand.
Yeah, you're either winning or losing big time. You're playing the lottery. You're gambling is really what you're doing at the end of the
If we
day.
don't sell, we can't lose.
But I think it's fun, and I especially love to learn about it and be on the front end of the curve on innovation.
I'm 100% with you there.
So there's like that aspect to it. But the truth is, like, most people are going to lose a lot of money.
Right. Well, I mean, that's in like a lot of things, though. You know,
that's everything. That's not just.
Right.
That's just. This is the most extreme example of like.
This is max degen.
If you're going to rank it, it's like bonds, stocks, or bonds, ETFs, stocks, then Bitcoin, then Ethereum, then every other altcoin in existence, then NFTs,
DeFi,
or NFTs, DeFi, somewhere in there.
Right. Yeah.
Then GameFi. Like this is the pico top of the closest to gamble you can get in this space.
Before you're fully just on a slot website.
Before you're literally going on Roulette and placing a wager.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that it's that close.
So
but you can feel like you almost made it.
It's
fun. And there's a chance. There's RNG. There's a chance. And if you play it, if you time it perfectly like any other investment, you could make a shitload of money. Like it's true.
Right.
But understand that if you don't time it perfectly and you don't play it perfectly and you don't have the money to like,
or you just
go for it.
It's so interesting because what you've just said, if you like clipped that out of context, you could 100% apply that to like playing, what's the casino game where you spin the ball around the thing? Roulette. Yeah. You could,
I don't think the odds are that bad.
You could apply that to, you could be like, if you do it the exact right way, and if your timing is good, or if you just get lucky, you can make loads of like it. Genuinely,
that's especially with roulette, the odds are like.
Also with roulette, like you usually.
But you're placing on a number specifically.
What I'm saying,
the odds are not good.
I know.
This is much better odds to at least break even.
But this is what I'm saying.
Strategy here, you know.
But there's people that will argue to their dying breath there is strategy in roulette. They will argue the hell out of that.
No, there to some degree there is, but
right.
But I'm talking about like if you're talking about picking a number, 1 out of 34, right?
Go
ahead.
Maybe they're picking red because that's the strat. What I'm saying is, with something like that, The roulette game is fairly easy to understand. There is a ball, it lands in a spot on the wheel, and that's the winning spot, right?
Yeah,
and if you pick the right color or you pick the correct number or whatever, then you win. And if you don't, then you lose, right? So the parameters of the game are fairly easy to grok, to get it, to figure it out, right? With what you guys are doing,
Right.
what I'm saying is it's more or less the same thing. It's just the parameters of the game are infinitely less clear. They're so much harder to figure out because you're here going, well, mine has a fixed supply cap. But
that's the
so
fun.
I know.
Every game has its own game theory, you know what I'm saying? Like you just have to learn the game theory. Like once you play the game or at least like read the white paper twice, like it's not difficult.
6 times.
right,
Once you read the right
His
paper and
brain
then
is
play the game,
enormous.
fuck it up 4 times and then get it right, then you're good.
I've made like 3 videos on elves and I still can't explain the whole game.
Dude, I've made so many stupid mistakes after I do it. I'm like, I completely just wasted so much time.
Right. Yeah.
Like I've messed up a lot.
So what I'm saying is
And it hurts.
It's financial.
I'm like, wow, I just lost like $80 and so much time that I can't even calculate how much I actually lost.
You want to know pain? In Raid Party, to enhance your fighter to make it more powerful, there's a 90% chance that it succeeds and a 10% chance it fails. To enhance a fighter, you have to burn a fighter and spend 25 confetti. Fighters were trading at 1 ETH for like a week. Imagine spending 1 ETH and 25 confetti, which is like another like couple $100, and then it fails. So like you just wasted like $3,300.
That's gambling.
I did that twice.
Damn, that sounds like
that's
so
literally
much
spinning the
fun.
wheel.
Oh, it was pain. No, that sucks.
It's just the fact that it's like you're taking gambling and you're making it so much less clear, but you're giving people there is the expectation, the feeling of, oh, if I'm just smart enough, if I can just figure out the right strategy, then I'll make it. I'll make it, guys. And that is what terrifies me. As an investor that loves, I'm a crypto enjoyer, all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
I see that particular thing. I don't look at a lot of these other projects that are in the space that are like just standard, like DeFi projects or PFP stuff or whatever. I don't look at those necessarily and go, wow, this is using my lack of ability to fully understand the entire ecosystem of information here required to solve this problem in order to extract the most value from this system in order to make my money back. Like I'm not looking at those in that light. But with these, that's the only way that I can look at them because I know that's exactly how they work. And that just spooks me as a player.
You could, in theory, just buy the NFT, like the characters.
Yeah.
Wait for the demand to go up a bit, like in Raid Party's case. You buy it mint, wait for the demand to go up, where the price, where the price becomes more, higher, and sell them and never play the game. You could do that.
Yeah.
Like
and I think
traditionally
the idea of having multiple strategies to try to earn money is
Most
definitely
NFTs
a bit of lore for someone who's getting into it.
Most NFTs you buy and they sit in your wallet. These NFTs you buy, you stake, you generate currency.
Right.
Or you literally could buy it, hold it for 3 days, and sell it for higher. You could do that if you
I
wanted to.
appreciate there are simpler ways to approach it, and there are much more complicated ways. And it sounds like the whales that are playing the games have even more complicated ways.
But
right?
also too, one thing I will say is that like we all have our spreadsheets, right? Everyone has their spreadsheet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You with these spreadsheets with these games, I mean, you look at your cost basis, you look at how much you spent, you look at what the price of ETH is, what the price of the currency is, you look at how many days it would take to recoup your investment.
Yeah.
Like you make this spreadsheet and you understand it before you buy, so that you look at this and you're like, okay, if I spend $10,000, here's what it would yield me for $10,000.
Yeah.
And here's at the current prices, how many days it would take for me to recoup this. Like you can, if you wanted to, if you're an intelligent enough person, you can create the math, look at the math and be like, okay, is this a good decision? Is this a bad decision? Right? Just like if you buy any stock, you're like, okay, I'm going to put $10,000 into this stock.
Yes.
Right. And here, like, I don't know, like what the distribution on stocks works when it comes to like,
I mean, it's different between different companies as well.
course.
So like you'll do
right. But like,
sorts,
you can math it out, right? Or like, okay, if I hold this stock for fucking 2 years and I hope it appreciates this much because I believe in this company and they have a track record,
maybe it pays a dividend.
Like
and
you
blah,
play
blah,
your
blah.
math,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
You play your math. These games, you could play the math. Like it is not gambling in the sense of you're just throwing money down hoping it works. It's gambling in the sense of like, dude, Raid Party was on a rally and then ETH pumped 20% or
Right,
something like that.
right.
And it fucking killed the game. Not to kill the game, but it killed the momentum.
Yeah.
And then floors went down. Everybody freaked out, right? So like you're at the mercy of a lot of things that are out of your control.
Yes.
That's the scary part.
Yes.
But there's strategy and there's math that you can do and there's expectations that you can create for yourself and be like, okay, I know how much I'm investing. I know how much at current prices it will take me to recoup my investment. And I know how volatile this market is. Like you need to be realistic in your expectations going into this.
Do you think they give crypto overall a bad name?
Like GameFi games?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No? Are they net positive?
I don't think
it's so niche.
I don't think there's anything about crypto that gives crypto a good name to the people who don't want to learn or care about crypto.
Oh, interesting.
Like if you hate crypto,
Well said.
if you hate crypto, there's nothing about crypto that is going to change your mind. And that's not a crypto thing. That's a human nature thing. That's people.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't care what people think about GameFi games because like, especially like people that hate crypto and hate NFTs and are against all this, I don't give a shit, dude. Because one, you don't know what you're talking about because you don't care enough to even do the research on it. Two, even if you do know what you're talking about, you're so full of hate that you can't even see any potential positive use case. Like I'm a very positive, optimistic person. I like to look for uses. I like to look for solutions. I like to look for like future cool, fun shit. People who just hate, you'll never find that. You block that from your vision. Like I don't care. Now, does it give crypto a bad rep? Like, yes, like DeFi does. Does the $600 million Ronin hack give crypto a bad rep? Yes, right.
Fair,
That doesn't mean Ronin is a bad thing or Axie is a bad thing. It just means, man, there was a fucking loophole, dude. Shit happens, right? Like all these things give crypto a bad rep. But at the end of the day, crypto exists and it will exist in the future regardless of whether people like it or not. I think this technology is just here to stay. And I think GameFi, although it won't be as popular as like video games, man, I just think it's a tech that's going to be here. Like it or not, it's going to be here, dude. Like shit, there's a lot of things that like I'm sure you don't like, I don't like, you don't like that exist in the world that, you know what, man, they just exist and they're going to be here forever. You know what I'm saying? That's why that's why I dislike the negative connotation around like NFTs and gaming is because like we haven't really tried it. There's no good use cases. There's no mainstream or AAA use cases. Like we don't know if this technology is a good or a bad idea, but people are like shitting on it and like handing out opinions as if they know the future and this isn't going to work. Like this pessimism does not create like productive solutions. Like pessimism is healthy and it's like you can, mitigate loss.
Yeah, you want a healthy amount.
Right. But like the people who have moved humanity forward the most have not been pessimists.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or they've been so pessimistic they've realized they need to fix Earth's shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm 100%
for sure.
with you.
Like
And
there's pessimism, that
I think
has its role.
It's 100%, and it's also it's just part of being an entrepreneur where if you're only seeing problems and never seeing solutions, then you're not going to make any solutions, right?
Right.
So
or if you're only seeing solutions, saying you won't see the problems and shit. Like
quite
you need a balance.
you need
sure.
a healthy amount for sure, but I don't really have like a firm opinion either way. I've been doing a lot of devil advocating this episode.
I appreciate it.
It's
you
been
can't
really
have a maxi chat that's cringe.
Correct. I think it is. But it's very interesting to hear because the GameFi Ponzi games side of things so far is something that I've seen out there and actively decided, despite the fact that I'm a massive degenerate, that it's not something I'm going to personally interact with at this time. It's not even that it's like too degen. I just think that it's a bad idea. Like,
really?
Yeah, for me, I know I'm not going to get anything out of that experience.
Okay.
And so I'm just like, I don't think I need to interact with this. Just like,
how do you feel about like Web3 games though? Like Big Time is a good example, right? They're trying to bridge the gap between Web2 and Web3.
And they're doing it very well.
So they're making a game, correct me if I'm wrong, they're making a game which is at face value just a game.
Free to play.
And then there will be room for you to connect your wallet if you want to, but you don't need to do that in order to play and enjoy, etc.
Correct.
Is that more or less?
As of right now, it's all priced in fiat. I'm not even sure they're actually, I'm not sure their smart contracts paired to the chain yet.
They're gonna have their own like custodial wallet. They're gonna have their own marketplace.
The way they explained it to me was very weird. It was like our contract isn't available on ETH yet, and I was like, what does that even mean?
It is a super weird thing.
It's like they have their own marketplace.
Yes.
Was it
on their site.
Testnet or like?
I don't know. I don't like. I got a very vague answer. I'm like, is this going to be available? Like, is this a blockchain game or not? Like, because right now you can buy land for their game, which really, to be honest with you, in this case, is very much like a angel investment, or like a seed investment in the game.
Okay,
you're buying land, which generates some value in the game.
You need
whatever,
land
but it's expensive
to create NFTs.
Right. So you don't have to buy the land. You can play the game for free and not care about any of that.
Right.
Or if you want to invest in the game,
you can play the game for free.
Yes.
Okay.
Without
a lot of these games coming out
worrying about any of the NFT stuff.
Right.
But it's all priced in US dollars. You can pay in USDC.
I mean, so are NFTs on Nifty, but like that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not blockchain, right?
Well, I don't know. I haven't got a clear answer. Like I sent USDC to the wallet I don't even know if it's a wallet. It's like,
oh, you bought land.
Well, I guess it was a wallet. It was
they
a wallet
gave you
address.
an address, I'm sure.
Yeah,
like,
it was an address. So I sent it to their site, but it's not like I'm not connecting MetaMask. I'm not doing anything like I can't see the transaction. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's just like I send it to a wallet and then it's there in US dollars.
Okay.
Which is weird.
Yes, that sounds very weird.
The idea in my eyes is they're trying to help bridge the gap from Web 2 gamers to make it like really easy. Like, oh, it's dollars. I pay X amount of dollars to get this cool thing in the game, blah, blah, like anything else. But there is definitely an element of Web 3 in there.
Loose application of Web 3.
So what was the original question?
Like he was just asking, like, what are your thoughts?
What are your thoughts on that? Are you interested in that? Do you see yourself playing games like that?
I mean, I'm interested in a game that's a fun game. Yeah.
Right, 100%.
And
that's where everyone is.
Right?
That's where everyone is. Yeah.
If the game's good, I'll play the game. Yeah.
Everybody wants a fun game.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's fair. I can get behind that entirely.
From my perspective, the only fun I would have in one of these GameFi games of the current generation of them, like before they get better, which I'm sure they will as well. I'm sure they will.
The GameFi games?
I hope they
I'm sure the Ponzi's will get more fun.
We'll see. They'll never go mainstream.
I doubt they will, but I'm sure they will get more fun.
Yeah.
People, because like the stuff that's available right now is infinitely more enthralling than stuff from 10 years ago. Like it's just gonna right. Anyway, if a game is fun, I'm in. If a game is only there, if the only thing that I'm trying to do in the game is to claw back my original investment, which is I know for me personally, the mindset that I would be going in with, I wouldn't be able to get that out of my head. Then I'm not going to have fun.
It is stressful.
I'm going to be stressed.
DeFi Kingdoms?
Yeah.
Okay. What are your thoughts on DeFi Kingdoms?
Haven't played it. Don't know enough about it. I know a lot of folks that are super excited about it.
That's a GameFi game.
Is it? Exclusively?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. I didn't know that.
You're buying and selling and trading NFTs. You're sending your heroes and your NFTs like on missions to find more NFTs, and like you yield tokens from doing certain missions, and then you take those tokens and you put them into DeFi pools to generate more tokens.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
The DeFi Kingdom. Like it's like it's a DeFi game. It's like the biggest DeFi game.
But it's specifically one of these Ponzi's that we're talking about, because I haven't played it, like I've said. I just know of it.
I don't play it, but like it's a lot less Ponzi than what we're playing.
Okay,
but it's still like I mean, like
how is it less Ponzi? Just
the nature of the gameplay, I think, is just a little bit different than like we strategically play to yield coin, and in this, I mean, Axie Infinity, you strategically play to yield coin, right? Like it's not much different from that, but like I don't know exactly how less Ponzi it is. I know that it's
our homework.
Ponzi.
All of us need to play some DeFi Kingdoms and then come back to this and talk about it.
We might be a little bit late to DeFi Kingdoms.
We definitely
just
are
know that we're
late.
going into losing money.
That's definitely for sure.
So maybe you should.
Maybe I shouldn't play.
Yeah, right. DeFi Kingdoms, you might actually lose. Although they're going to AVAX and stuff, they have some cool things on the roadmap. But
yes, so I think they've actually just launched something recently, right?
It's a good game.
Synapse, people like bridging with Synapse or something to something or other. I wasn't sure exactly what that was, but there was some big thing for it. They had some kind of partnership.
No, they're moving, man. They're a good project. Not financial advice.
Not financial advice for sure.
Something to look into.
So maybe I could be interested in some of these Web3 games. Like
my
they just need to
be the argument you're making here is not an argument, just your preference. If you are worried about the money part of it, then it seems like any game that's got earning ability in it is going to be an issue.
Well, that
unless you just completely stray away from that and just play the game.
Fun. I know for a fact I'm not going to have fun on like an auto clicker.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Well, yeah.
That makes sense. How much money have you spent on like not
on
related to
video
YouTube
games.
Content? Yeah, games that you thought was funny and you enjoyed.
Very little.
Really?
I hardly ever
we're different people, man. I spent thousands of dollars on Clash of Clans before I made YouTube content.
Right. So this is the thing. I'm like Black Ops 3,
right?
Like was the biggest year for my channel in terms of like it blowing up.
COD's
right?
different because you're just buying skins and it's not that prevalent.
No. In Black Ops 3, there's Gobblegums, right? Which are one-time uses. They give you basically a power-up in the game. You like spin a wheel. It gives you random Gobblegums when you put your currency in.
Okay.
And they're cool as fuck. Gives you all the perks in one go. Or it upgrades your gun. Or it does like all sorts of wild, wacky, crazy shit. People are obsessed with those things.
Really? Okay.
And in combination with that, they were also amazing for content, because if I want to make a YouTube video and I need some sick gameplay, pop a gobblegum. Oh, I've got all the perks. Makes my life a lot easier recording.
Right.
People want to see that shit on YouTube because it's aspirational, because they can't afford to get the gobblegums.
Right.
So it's a big deal, right? Both personally.
Oh, you could pay your money in real life to get the gobblegum.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
It's
So
just like Clash of Clans gems or
Oh, sick.
right. Okay. So I had a personal reason to do it because I was enjoying this video game and they gave me cool shit in the video game.
Right.
And I had a business reason to do it because my entire business was predicated on me making content for this game, right?
Yeah, man. So
I didn't buy a single fucking gobblegum until the charity tournament for Grod Crovey, which was DLC 3, which came out like 9 months after the game came out. I didn't buy a single fucking one.
right.
I was not interested.
Fair.
For some reason, that is just not something that my brain enjoys.
But you know that a lot of people do enjoy that.
100%.
The vast majority of gamers do that. Like
Yes.
like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
amount
yeah.
of money that the like what was it like not Blizzard, Activision, maybe one of these companies generated like what $4 billion in a year. Off
They do
of,
that
like,
every
cosmetics.
year. Every year.
Right. So the cool thing about these games, these Web3 games, is that like you put money into this game as you normally, not $40,000, like
Sure.
just like a normal, not a GameFi game, a normal game.
Yep.
You put money into these games like you normally would, like $100 or $20 or $50 or $2,000, how much money you have.
Yeah.
But instead of like that money just sinking into the game and like you get fun or you get content out of it, you can actually like you can power up your team to generate more currency. Like, you can make that back. Like I think that's a cool, like
It's cool. It's also dangerous.
Right. It shouldn't be
That's
the only
the where I
selling
like
point.
there's a tension there
Right.
between the incredible utility and power that gives you,
and like
also
going too scary investment into it, like
yes,
losing all your money.
Yes,
kind of
it is
vibes.
it is a dark thing as much as it is a light thing.
Yeah,
And-
I see that.
And it's that tension where I struggle as someone that already struggles to convince myself to do the good thing, and just like buy a skin just to have a skin in the game.
Right.
I'm a default skin Andy.
Hell yeah.
Like that's me, man. So I'm very aware that I'm more sort of like risk averse, let's say, in this particular way, even in traditional AAA games right now.
Right.
But there's just something about it that just like gives me the heebie-jeebies a little bit.
No, that's a really good thought process because you have to also like consider like kids play video games, man, and like this could be like a gateway drug into like
gambling addiction.
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I mean, so could fucking the whole CS:GO skin system and like
100%.
like loot boxes
all the
and like
Overwatch loot crates and all that stuff.
right,
Yeah,
like
for sure.
like everything that exists in normal Web 2 games, you know what I'm saying? The idea behind Web 3 gaming, the reason why I like it so much is like everything that exists in like the normal video games that we know today, if you add some level of tokenization to it, whether it's like an actual in-game currency that you can exchange, that you can generate through playing the game and exchange, which Axie did, and it's just not like I don't know, that model doesn't work long term. So like or like, you know, NFTs, man, like whether it's skins in the shop, you know what I'm saying? Like you have like there's like a fixed rate, a fixed number on how many of those skins can exist, you know what I'm saying? And there's like a market value for it. Or like, you know, you can generate skins by playing the game. You know, you find rare skins in dungeons, like normal shit that you would do in games, but adding a tokenized value to it just brings more values to the players. You know what I'm saying? So instead of like, you know, a company like Activision retaining $4 billion a year off of skins and like, you know, like a skin selling marketplace, right? You have the actual users and players of the game who are able to like jump in and capture some of that value while playing a game they enjoy.
So I've seen you tweet this sentiment fairly recently,
right,
where some company announced their earnings of some description, or it was maybe
I forgot who it was, but it was $4 billion in a year.
Okay, it was probably Activision. That's the sort of ballpark of what Activision
Riot or
makes.
something. Yeah.
Okay, sure. And your response? Do you remember what you said in response?
I mean, something along the lines of
players should get a piece.
Right.
More or less, right?
Well, not players should get, maybe I said should, and I would revise that, but wouldn't it be cool, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be a cool, healthy thing if all of the billions of dollars that are generated in profit, you know, from player activity, like if that were to be at least at some level redistributed back to players who are generating that value.
And like I
just think it's cool.
So you think that's cool, and an interesting thing is that is in many ways exactly how these DeFi like Ponzi games are working, right? Where you're putting money in and then there's money being cycled back into the player. And so like you're getting that kickback. And so that's like, it's almost satisfying that thing that you wish the AAA would be doing already. So I can see why that would be super attractive for you now. You're like, this is a mechanism that I want to be adopted in more ways in the future, right? Or you just put in your
time. Dude, like professional gamers, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these pros, you know, like sure, like you upgrade your rig and whatnot so you can play better, but it's just a 'lot of time. So like imagine a kid's like imagine, dude, there's like a set 18, let's say 18, just for the sake of like, like legal age, 18-year-old kid who plays like 4 hours a day of Fortnite. Like, but they don't make any money from that. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine if you played 4 days a day of Fortnite and you were sick and twisted of the game.
Right.
And
So
you could generate money from that.
I get
or
that
you
that's
could get value put back in.
It's something that you're really excited by, and I don't necessarily disagree with you that is a cool prospect. I know for a fact that there is a very strong pushback to that idea with normies, right? Who will say to someone that says that, it's a company and they made profit. Why should you get that when you're playing a game?
Right. That's fair enough.
If you go and buy a taco from a taco truck outside your house, are they going to give money to people that buy tacos from them?
Right. You know, they're providing a service, right?
They're selling you a thing, a service, a product, whatever it is, and you've got the service or product, and why should you get kickback?
I think the way you kind of described it though is not the way that they get the value back, right? And it's not going to be a huge portion of the $4 billion in this example. It's like if you bought a skin, like here's a good example: Clash of Clans.
Everyone makes more money.
Sure, it would really. I mean, there's only as much money in the game as there is, right? So like if everyone puts in $4 billion worth of in-game purchases, that's the pool of money that there is to work with. The difference is the ability to recoup some of that money that you put in. Essentially, it's not you're not gonna make more money. I don't think. It's if there's a marketplace of NFTs, for example, and you bought like Fortnite skins, right? I bought in Fortnite. I think I bought like $2,000 worth of skins,
right? Which
is absurd. It's useless now. It's worth nothing. Fortnite captured all $2,000 of those dollars.
Yep.
Right.
The difference between that and Web3, where some of that money could come back to me, not because it's an obligation by them, but because I can control my destiny, is I own the Fortnite skins. And if I wanted to resell some of them for market value, I have the option to do so.
Right.
So the money, I'm not like giving them more money. I'm selling those to someone else that's willing to pay whatever amount of money it is. And Fortnite's still making money on that.
There's transaction fees that occur, like Ronin.
But I'm getting some of the value back, right? And then you add that up a bunch of all players, like then they're getting some kickback.
And I think, can I just piggyback on your point for just 1 second? I think a lot of the argument on the pro side of it, like the side that you're arguing for here, is that if they introduce a marketplace like that, where let's say you can resell your Fortnite skins, for instance, right? You're going to have a market that's going to be there, and they can put something in place so that they still get kickback of 10, 20% on all the resales of all the skins.
Jesus Christ, not 10%.
Okay.
Imagine, holy fool.
I mean, why wouldn't it be?
I wouldn't even matter. 10% is fine.
Yeah, really? let's call it. Let's
because
call
it's
it 10,
already
20%.
90% more than I was making before.
Right.
There you go.
Know what I'm saying?
So, but I think the argument there is that the 10%, 20% kickback would end up meaning that yes, from new skins being sold, maybe Epic with Fortnite make less money in just base, I was going to say NFT sales, but in that case, it would just be skin sales, right? It would be NFTs in this case. But maybe because the resale market would pop off with so much like transactions going on in there, so many transactions, maybe then they would end up net positive on the fact that they're kicking back value to the player and they're also getting money from the resales. That's like an argument being made.
You think there's a saturation point of if people are able to resell, less people will buy new stuff?
That's I don't know. I'm just saying that there is
is that the argument
people
that
argue
people
both?
are making?
They argue both ways.
If that's the argument, I think that's absolutely
You know,
stupid to think that.
Yeah, right. Like the shoe market, the luxury market, the car market, the everything market.
You come out with a cool new skin, people are going to buy it.
Yeah, man.
It's not like there's not like a point of there's every skin's been bought that we can afford. Like we're done.
No, but it's Fortnite. You would think everyone owns every skin in Fortnite by that logic.
No.
But if there's a cool skin, they're going to buy it. That's what you just said.
Right, but if there's a fixed supply, like once they sell out,
there's not a fixed supply of skins in Fortnite.
Like,
if it's there
are limited edition skins that only
I actually didn't know that.
Also for the concept of skin NFTs to work, there almost needs to be some level of a limited supply.
Doesn't that sound like it sucks ass?
No, that's how the game already is. Like when I was first playing with Pat in Z House, there are skins that I have. Like there are certain skins that are super rare now. They were there for like the first month.
So you paid more gas to buy that shit in the game? Like, what's going on?
That's a whole nother argument. But we'll be on L2 by that point for sure.
Like Pokemon Go, there's like shiny.
The point is like those I could resell one of those now. I don't know what the market value would be. Let's just say it's like thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Recoup all of my skin investment on one scale.
Right.
As opposed to where I'm at now, where that money's gone. It's never coming back to me. But the benefit is Fortnite made it $3,000. Like Epic Games made $3,000 off of me.
Uh-huh.
If I resold those skins, They made $3,300 off of me, off of the one
that's
set.
what I'm saying.
And he
They're going to
recruits
make
his
more
value.
money.
Right.
I think there's no argument there.
Right.
No,
So it's beneficial to both parties. Why? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's beneficial to both entities.
It might be. So I brought that point up because I know it's a pro for the space. It's a pro argument. Like
Sure.
pros in pro and con, right? The counter to it is that if they have a secondary market, why the fuck would you buy the primary? Everyone's just going to buy on secondary. It's going to be cheap as fuck, and then they're going to lose a lot of money because no one's going to be buying the skins at market. They're going to use the skin. They're going to be like,
skins.
why would
Yeah.
you assume that they're going to be lower priced though?
because if Lil Timmy buys a new skin in the store for $20,
every time.
and then he's like, I want to buy a can of Lucozade from the local store or something, and he wants to sell his skin at a loss, he's going to do it. Lil Timmy's not going to be financially
And Fortnite
smart.
still makes more money.
If he resells for $5, then
They're taking a cut
someone
of that.
doesn't. But
It's more than nothing.
it's one person buying a $20 skin and then reselling it for $5 and then $4 and then $3, as
Yeah, but,
opposed
like,
to
you have to
2020,
assume-
2020.
You have to assume that
Yeah,
same
but that's
skin
what I'm
doesn't
saying.
just stay on
You
the
think there's a
marketplace
saturation
forever.
point where people will stop paying 2020 as opposed to buying something else on that secondary.
Yeah, because if you
I
know
think
that if
they
you
will
wait
continue
3
to buy
days, it's going to be
both.
cheaper. You're going to wait. Everyone's going to wait.
Maybe so.
All
if
the
there's only- if
streamers
there's
are going to buy
only-
it day one,
but
and then the
if there's
streamers are going to be
things
like, I got to get my investment back. They're going to just sell that shit. They're going to dump on market. They're going to
How many skins are we talking here?
Probably-
the supply obviously matters.
Probably
Right.
quite a lot. Think of all the people that
It's like,
started
look
playing
at-
Fortnite and then stopped playing. All those people would have fully liquidated.
I would have.
Exactly.
And Fortnite would have made more money.
No, you would have fully Listen, you are dumping.
They would have made
all of
more
your
than they've
supply.
already made on me.
All of you're saying, if let's say from Genesis of Fortnite, right? Let's say 90% of players playing in the first month are no longer playing the game. I think it's probably a much higher percentage than that. Let's say it's 90%. Do you think that's fair?
The people that were playing originally are not playing.
First
anymore.
month, I'm not playing.
Sure, for sure.
Yeah, first month,
Yes.
not playing right now. Like 3 years later or whatever it is.
I'm already.
That's
okay.
the entirety of the first chunk of the player base market selling. Where's the price going to go?
The problem.
Down
the
or
problem
up?
with this argument is that number's so much smaller than when they hit their peak. So it's like
Are they at the
it's
peak?
it's minute compared to like
Are they at the peak right now?
if when the game dies, then yes, maybe your argument.
Right
holds
now,
up.
the
when
player
people
base
are
is
no
smaller than
longer
the
buying
peak.
new skins, then it will be an issue.
When Drake was playing with Ninja, peak. Fair to say? In terms
I think
of
peak after
global
that,
hype, a
but
little bit after that,
sure.
but around then, within 3 months of that, something like that, right? Ever since then, I think that Fortnite as a global phenomenon has surely
It's
been
come
on the decline.
yeah,
A little bit.
Gotta
It's
be.
still enormous.
Right.
And what does that mean? That means that since then, people will have been market selling. Down only.
I think the problem is you're expecting no one to buy new stuff, and that's just not
No,
going to happen.
no, people will buy. People will.
You have to remember that
They will buy old
even-
stuff and new stuff.
And there's constantly more supply because they're releasing more skins all the time. So there's constantly more supply and market selling.
Economics has to become a part of it,
Yeah.
obviously.
Right. But-
Like, for sure.
Can I say
Yeah.
something?
Sorry.
Also, even if people are selling at a loss,
Yeah.
they're still ending the day with more money than they would have otherwise.
Both
If
entities.
you buy a skin
Yes.
for $20 and you're like, don't want it anymore, and you resell for 10,
The player is
you have
getting
10
more.
more dollars than you will have ever had ever playing the game ever.
Yes.
So you still, even though, and I think that's what we're talking about here. It's the differences between going in with the perception of like, this is an investment and I want to make profit, and then just playing the game as you normally would.
Yeah.
And being able to at least retain even a percentage of the value that you put in.
It's just there is the argument that you get money back out of the system when you exit, which is what you're saying, you're $10 back, right? But then there are also people that will say that, I mean, and just the argument I'm making here is that will mean that the games company implementing the system will earn less money. And so, yes, the player getting money back sounds amazing, but if it's at the cost of the game's ecosystem, then that is probably a net negative for the player because the game's going to be able to do less cool stuff because they're going to earn less money.
Reselling the same 50 skins for 5 years, they should be losing money because they suck.
But if they're constantly adding supply,
Here's a better
and
way to
it's
look at it. Look at any NFT collection. It's going to be the same thing. Think about Fortnite skins as different NFT collections, right? Some do really well, like Bored Ape. That the amount of money they made on mint, significantly less than the amount of money they made on royalties. It's not even close. Right? That will be, I imagine, to be the same thing with Fortnite skins. Some of them that are like a limited supply that people love, like Skeleton, right?
I mean,
people
right.
like love that skin, right? And it's super rare because it's an early on one. I don't know if they brought it back or not, but let's just assume they haven't because they hadn't when I was there. That one would be worth a shitload. And people that are able to afford it and buying and selling it back and forth, those royalties add up. Some of them will be like way more common that anyone could afford. And yeah, you're right. They will be lower in value. And then the secondary market, people can buy them, but they constantly come out with new skins. So like, it's not like right now they're just relaunching the same skins that people buy again. So in that way, you're right. People paying less money on the secondary than them relaunching it and a new person coming in and paying the $20 again. Right.
For sure.
I still believe, and this is, no one knows
right.
until you do the math.
Right. And you just,
I think what you'll see
life.
is as long as the game doesn't die, I would bet a lot of money that they will make way more.
Yeah.
Way more.
I also think you're underestimating the amount of money that can be generated from market sale or market
royalties?
The resale royalties. Yeah.
Like the amount of money that can be generated from that is like the amount of money that Axie Infinity is able to generate off of like 1 or 2% take of each transaction.
2.5%.
It's
like
disgusting.
It's
yeah, right.
And Fortnite would have made a killing.
I was gonna say, when you take a game like Fortnite that has that many active players, like the amount of volume that would run through that marketplace would be disgusting.
So it's interesting. Basically, the equation here, if we want to just illustrate it for people, is that right now we're right here, smack bang in the middle, where you've got Fortnite or Epic Games, right, earning a whole boatload of money from their players.
Yeah.
And you could move in one direction and like imagine this is a big pie of money, right? You can move in one direction and you're going to have Fortnite, Epic Games earning less money and the players starting to actually earn some money back, right?
Okay.
And then you could also have the situation that you're hoping would happen, which is that the whole pie gets bigger because of the fact that there's more interest in buying these skins because there's the resale and the royalties that come from all those secondary sales mean that there's more money going in. And so it's not 4 billion, it's 6 billion, it's 8 billion, it's 10 billion. And so like, let's say the amount that is in the ecosystem doubles, despite the fact that players are taking out 10% or something of the money they put in, the money in the pie has doubled. And so net positive for the player, they've earned some money back. Net positive for Epic Games because they have been able to generate like 7 bill instead of their like original 4.
Okay.
So like it would have doubled to 8 and then it would reduce by like 10%, let's say, because that's what the player gets, right?
Sure.
So if we look at it that way, what I am unconvinced by, I am with you guys that I think having a secondary market like that would be very, very exciting and would drive a lot of participation. I do believe that. What I'm not convinced by is that the scale of that, the amount of money that would drive for the ecosystem in terms of money coming out of people's pockets into that game, that it would be so great that it would negate the value that the player would be extracting in that scenario, because $4 billion a year in microtransactions is a lot of goddamn money going out of the player's pocket. And to just be like, oh yeah, adding a marketplace where you can resell adds $4 billion more dollars of value. I mean, obviously I've picked that number out of my ass.
I don't know if it,
I don't know if it's a double thing.
But let's say the player can take 10% back of what they put in, right? Then it needs to be $400 million more activity. And that's for Epic to break even. If they want to profit, it needs to be $500 million. And the infrastructure they're going to need to build in order to do this.
I feel like that is an absolute cakewalk with royalties.
Do you reckon?
Right.
Absolutely.
Also,
interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Also, it's like what he was trying to explain is that like if he spends $3,000 on skins and then sells it for $1,000, right? Like, dude, Epic still made that $3,000 initially from the skins. Now, what you're saying is that, well, if you have your marketplace so that you can't resell the same skins at the same price over and over again for years and years and years to come, right, then that's a problem. But like if there's constantly new skins being released, like you said, like if there's new skins being released and there's limited skins from like, you know, the Marvel collection.
I'm saying if there's new skins being released,
right,
in order for those people to sell, someone has to buy.
Of course.
And that means that someone is not buying at market rate.
Right.
They're buying under market rate.
Well, I mean, but
they're different skins, you know? Though. The only situation where Epic makes less money is if they bring back another skin that already had been released.
Right.
And someone's willing to pay the full price of 20
because
as opposed to the secondary price that could be lower than the 20. That's the only way they lose money. If they stop,
re-explain one more time.
okay, so let's say the skeleton Fortnite, right? Skeleton skin, right?
Sure. Okay.
They released it initially,
Yep.
Like way back when.
like early on. So if you had one, great,
Uh-huh.
it's worth a lot.
Uh-huh.
A year later, like you can't buy it anymore.
Yep.
A year later, it comes back to the store,
Uh-huh.
and they're reselling it again for the same $20.
Uh-huh.
New people will buy the skin for $20. Right?
Currently, yes, they will.
New people in the game, they're
Because
coming to the
old
game.
skins
Yes.
are worth way
Right?
more.
In the, with the
I
current
have a-
system,
I have a-
pre-NFTs, yes. Yeah.
Yes, in the old system, exactly.
Oh, right.
So they're making $20 again. The only way in which they'd lose money in the NFT scenario is if that skin was only available on the secondary market and they re-released it again, and people were willing to pay less. They'd pay the secondary market rate of $10, let's say, and not buy it from the store at 20.
Sure.
So they'd lose, they lose $10 every single
confident
transaction.
people would do that, yeah.
The simple solution
of
is
course.
don't re-release the skin. It's a one-time drop.
Right. There needs to be scarcity.
But
It's just economics at that point. You make it a 10,000 supply. Once they're sold out, they're gone. If anyone wants to buy it then in the future, people set the market.
I think honestly,
And with the limited supply, I bet money there's a good chance the number of big winners will well outweigh the small losses.
Number of people that are no longer interested will massively inflate because as soon as there's a fixed supply of like all the cool skins
but they're still introducing new other skins that you can buy for that same small rate of $20.
Surely to me, it just sounds like ass. If I'm like,
But they already do. They already have a bajillion skins, and they constantly bring them back.
I know that, but it's what I'm talking about.
People keep buying them. Like, people will keep buying them.
If the first time the skeleton came out, they were like, "There's only 1,000 of these boys."
Yeah,
and you just got to be quick, or whatever the system was. I don't know. That sounds like it sucks to me.
Or there's not 1,000 of them.
I want to be able to get the cool stuff in the game.
They're
Like,
that's
available-
no different than it was already. Though.
Let's say they're available for a week.
that's
The
interesting.
difference is now you and I can get our money back on it, and we have something that's like genuinely valuably rare.
Interesting.
They have like value. It's scarce.
Yeah.
But instead of people just knowing, like that's a skelly, like that guy's been playing for a while, like that guy's an OG.
It's a status
It's a
signal.
status.
Yeah, I mean, that's
right? Like now you can put a number to like the ego, essentially.
Sure.
That's
Well,
the
it's
only
like CSGO
difference.
skins, man. Like you see a rare ass CS:GO skin, you're like, oh fuck, this guy's
Exactly.
Would you have liked to have sold your recon helmet in Halo?
I didn't play Halo. So
I didn't play Halo. You didn't either,
No.
dude. Finally,
Thank God, let's go,
damn
man.
it, dude.
Oh,
I got crucified for years for not playing Halo.
Okay, let me give
Fuck
you.
Halo. Okay, Halo's
let me
legendary.
try another example. Would you have sold your crown in Little Big Planet?
Let's go, man. Let's go.
Would you have sold your party hat in RuneScape?
Dude, all day, baby, all day.
dude, what games are you? This is
Yeah, what the hell?
This is like a sandwich, like an Oreo. Like
Right.
we both have had the same experiences.
Yeah, man.
And then
The
there's you.
Americans over here. and the
that's
Brits
what
in
it
the
is.
There's a
fucking
cream in the middle.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, okay, maybe I'm only going to be able to pick games that you guys are like. I'm talking about like those status symbol things that you get in the game. It's like you complete the. Or okay, how about this? You get a platinum trophy on PlayStation or on Xbox. You get the rarest like gamer score achievement, right? For like doing some crazy shit in a game or whatever. If you could sell the trophy for money,
I'm less bullish on that.
less bullish.
Way less.
People sell their war medals. People go to war and die and get a medal, and families sell that. There's collectibles.
I think that's a little bit more extreme.
Damn, I gotta do some
like, I'm just
thinking
gaming.
before
I'm
I
not
do
trying to die for.
But you know what I'm saying? Like,
You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
dude,
okay, now I'm with you, bro.
No, man. Listen, dude, there's things that are like super inherently valuable to you that you accomplish through great feats, right?
Yeah.
But people outgrow that and they sell those things. And those items still retain value over long term because it's a cool collectible vintage piece of stuff. You know?
I got to think about that. I have a question though, to just like, I think we should wrap up here soon, but I have a quick question.
Okay.
This Fortnite market, like reselling royalties ecosystem, right?
Sure.
That we're saying is going to generate them from a couple hundred to a couple, like couple 100 million to a couple billion a year.
I don't know the
Let's
number.
The
Sure.
numbers,
Let's
right,
just
yeah.
say
I just know that it will be more.
it will make
Right.
them profit.
I don't know. I think
profit.
I think it'll be more.
You think it'll be profit, right? Why does that need to be on the blockchain?
Doesn't.
That's actually true. It doesn't even.
That's crazy.
Doesn't. My question to the game developers is why haven't you done it yet?
Right.
CS:GO did it. Look how great that went. Why would
Well,
why would no one else do that?
They
Well, okay, maybe not great, but you know what I'm saying. Like
It's gone well.
The process works,
I mean,
Right.
you can
and
sell
people clearly like it.
you can sell a skin that you get in Counter-Strike, and you can then sell it on the Steam store, and you can't withdraw that money. You can only spend it on Steam.
Fair enough.
See?
It's still a step beyond what everything
So
else
if you could burn a Fortnite skin that you own, right? Let's just say you're going to burn it, or like let's say it's not a marketplace, you burn it, and it gives you V-Bucks back.
Yeah, imagine that.
That's
how
a step in the right direction.
That's how NFT technology works in some of these games as well.
But like, where? Because game devs will shout from the rooftops, we don't need to burn down the Amazon rainforest in order to do this.
To give you the only answer I can give you, and the argument is going to be the environment no matter what, but is because then Epic Games doesn't control my ability to choose what I want to do. If they say, hey, we're closing the game down tomorrow, like, guess what? I still have the Fortnite skin.
Right.
I guess in that way if you can't play in the game, like you can't play in the game, so whatever.
Yeah, that skin's going to zero anyway.
Hold on, this fucking environment shit. Wait, dude. Okay,
burn the trees. Fuck you, Pseudo-Udo.
No. The reason why I think that the gaming space and NFTs is way ahead on this environmental curve is because there's no way that these games and game ecosystems work if they work on mainnet Ethereum, because people can't pay the gas fees. Dude, little Timmy will not be able to pay $30 a transaction.
Agreed.
Like so Immutable. I don't know if you know. Do you know what Immutable X is?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, right. So they just partnered with GameStop. They raised like $250 million. Like they're big, right? But what they are is they're an L2 like trading platform solution. Basically, it's games can build on that and operate on like Immutable, not have to pay gas fees, right? It's very like low negligible amounts. You're not impacting the environment more than you would playing a normal game, right? And these gaming ecosystems, you can even trade with Ethereum. You just bridge it onto there, like with Polygon. You bridge it onto Polygon.
Sure.
There's minimal environmental.
So you can put it on. So you can put it on chain with less impact. Fair.
It's off chain. It's L2. It's off chain. It's on a website. It's a browser. It's off chain. That's what an L2 is. L2 is off chain. Well, sort of. I mean, like Polygon's not off chain, but like.
Okay, we're gonna come back to that, but just you can interact with the blockchain in a less environmentally harmful way. Right?
You have to do that not because of the environment, but because it's too expensive for players to do it like that.
Fair,
which is why Ronin.
But it's expensive for players because of the environmental impact. Because it's expensive for players because the security budget needs to be a certain size. That's why it all comes down to the same thing.
Well,
it is the same thing.
It's just gas fees.
Yes,
it's
gas.
But
The reason that gas is expensive is because we have a proof of work system on Ether. Like it all comes down to the same thing.
Which just happens to be bad for the environment. It's not because of each other. It just happens to be.
It's one of the same. It is one of the same thing.
Right.
And so what I'm saying is, let's take away the environment from it. Let's say that everything doesn't actually have any impact whatsoever, and it's all fun and dandy.
Okay.
Why a blockchain solution when you could just do it with a database? Like the games, it could just be a standard database.
Right.
Like they already have.
In the
like
case
Diablo,
we're talking about,
Diablo had a marketplace in the game, right?
If it's in-game currency, they can do it already.
Right.
And
Yeah.
my question to game development would be, why haven't you?
Right.
I don't know.
I think part of the reason.
But the difference with blockchain
do you want to
is
answer that real quick?
There's real world value.
I think part of the issue is that
I can't go to Walmart and spend V-Bucks, bro. I can't go get a smoothie or a taco with my V-Bucks.
Tonight, that's for damn sure.
I need like real world applicable value. Like that's why.
And I need a drink. So we're going to go to the party that we're meant to be going to right now.
Fair enough.
We're meant to be there about an hour ago.
Just don't bring V-Bucks though, because you can't use those.
You cannot use them.
Fair. That's fair.
So we need
Absolutely.
a blockchain.
That's
what I'm saying.
I like that.
So we need more ETH.
Please send it to me.
But we should continue this conversation at some point. What I would like to say is, if any of you have enjoyed any of this, give us some more things to shout at each other about. Because there's plenty that we can shout at each other about.
We got really down a rabbit hole.
We did, but that's where we're going to go.
It was
with every
good though.
single
There was some real good back and forth there though.
Yeah,
definitely. I like your devil's advocacy. I think the cool thing too is the fact that like living in the crypto spaces we don't get a lot of that like real world feedback as much, you know? So like to be able to hear that perspective and like kind of drill that home, like you
can't have this conversation on Twitter.
Right.
No.
In fact, I don't think there's anywhere you can have this kind of conversation except for in this kind of setting.
I also don't think there's any conversation you can have on Twitter.
Well, that's also true.
It's definitely difficult to go anywhere with it. Yeah, I mean, it's a lost cause. Like, because no one's willing to have a good faith conversation.
Right.
Ultimately.
Well, it's also just like horrible miscommunication, right? Like even the example. But
that's what I'm saying about good faith.
Like, it's impossible to like understand what someone else is saying in a tweet.
Yeah,
right.
And it's like we have to hash these things out, like, and really dive deep on what we're talking about and how it works and like the minute differences. Like I think we were talking about the same thing for a while, and we have different opinions on it.
And still
Right.
not seeing each other's. And but that's the thing is on Twitter as well, you've got so many people that as soon as one of those little disagreements come up or one of those little unclearnesses and those uncertainties,
aggressive.
they latch onto it and they're like, this is an opportunity for me to misrepresent what this person has said and
make my
score
point.
points.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
The beef.
The beef.
Right.
Give me the beef.
It's a pain in the ass. But if you want us to shout at each other in a
Yes.
good faith sense about some more stuff related to crypto, NFTs, GameFi, Ponzi's, politics,
Ponzonomics.
Ponzonomics,
Right. War medals.
Politomics, Ponzonomics,
Give me the
war
V-Bucks.
medals, V-Bucks, etc. Just let us know in the comments down below if this lives on a platform which has a comment section. And if not,
Have a good one.
or don't,
Save the trees.
or don't.